We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. We got a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over social media, all over mainstream media. Everywhere there's a whole lot going on, and we're going to get into everything. The eviction moratorium. First, they say there is no more eviction moratorium, and you got to get out, go get a job, figure it out. Don't rely on Big Daddy government to pay your rent. But then they say, oh, nah, 2 more months of it from the federal level for 90% of the population. Trying to cite the Delta variant. Delta variant, Delta Plus, Delta Airlines, Delta Sigma Theta. Like, what's really going on? We'll talk about that, of course, during the show. Also, your man, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is going through a few changes right now. It's weird how the media wants to pounce on this story about the sexual harassment allegations against him and the report from the Attorney General, Letitia James, that says that he did do it, or that there's enough evidence to say that he did do it, and the possible criminal complaints that could come as a result. They want to focus on that, but how about them seniors that died in their nursing homes unnecessarily? Are we not going to talk about that? Are we going to sweep under the road? What's going on? Also, let's talk about vaccine mandates, rappers being canceled. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you heard thus far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content in general, give the video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it if you did. Also, this particular podcast and all my live podcasts will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform. You guys know the drill. If you don't, I'll tell you. That's Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box. Also, you guys got to check out my sponsors, of course, patriotpost.us, your number one source of news and information. Link for them will be in the box. Of course, the guys that do my flags, all the beautiful woodworkings, bhedesigns.com. You can get ones that are just like this, identical to this, the large size that are on my wall, or get one that represents something more like what you want. bhedesigns.com. Link will be in the box. Also, who I got? Mr1920.com. That is Mr1920.com for all your high-end soaps. I'm talking about some beautiful, real great soaps. Okay, ditch the if you go into the gas station and get in the bar of soap, I mean, treat yourself better than that. Okay, you deserve better. If it's not for you, for somebody else, link for them will be in the box. And of course, my own websites, anthonyblogan.com. Everything about me is on there. My bio, picture, email, snail mail, everything is on there. anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. Also, ABLmerch.com for all the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, and more. I got about a handful of these bad boys left. The USA Special Edition, top quality. I got a few of these left, so grab one while you can. And I think that'll cover me right there for the sponsors. All right, so thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. And share the video since you're in here. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Come on and join in the stream. We have a whole lot to discuss on this beautiful August evening. Now, where am I going to start? There's so much that I want to get through. There's a lot of big things I want to talk about. I think I'm going to start with Cuomo. Let's start with Cuomo, and then I'm going to just work my way through the whole situation. I'm going to go through all the different topics. But I think I'm going to start with your man, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, we all know what's happening with Cuomo. You have all these sexual harassment allegations against him. The report came out from Letitia James, I think her name is, the Attorney General for New York. And the report says that I guess there's credible evidence that he did this. Now, I don't know about any kind of criminal complaint. I think I've heard certain counties, certain New York jurisdictions want the findings from the Attorney General, and there could be criminal complaints that come as a result. But as of right now, it's just saying, okay, we found that you did this to people. Now, do I believe the report 100%? I don't know, maybe. I feel like some of it might be a little overblown, just keeping it all the way real. Okay. And follow me here. Don't get triggered immediately, but just follow me what I'm saying, and then it'll make sense. I think some of it might be a little overblown because I done seen these Italian guys do a little kiss on the cheek, a little hug or whatever. However, I don't think that is the extent of what he's being accused of. Okay. Now, I don't know about y'all, but like I said, I know some Italians. Ciao Bella. I know all of that. You know, the pizza and everything. Hey, it's fantastic. Shout out to y'all. But I don't think it's Italian tradition to put your hand somewhere where it should not go, period. Okay? If a lady has a dress on and your hand makes its way in another region, now you shouldn't be doing that. I don't care if you're Italian, Chinese, African, white, black. I don't care what your nationality is, what your race is. There are certain things you should not be doing without consent. That's called sexual assault. So if you're doing something like that, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, then you might need to go to the gulag, making big rocks and a little rocks. Italian or no Italian. Did you guys see that cringy little montage from Andrew Cuomo when the allegations came out? I did a video, but maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you want a refresher. Let me try to find that right quick, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. And I'm gonna bring it right on home. Like I said, I don't think that everybody's always telling the truth. I don't really believe everybody and everything they say. But when you're talking about Andrew Cuomo, this is a bed that he has made for himself. You know, any leftist that's kind of been really active and whatnot, they've made this bed for themselves. So when they get caught up and when things happen, I don't feel what they say. I don't feel no ways tired. How Hillary Clinton say, I don't feel no ways tired toward them for making the bet that they got to lie in right now. As a matter of fact, hold on. Now, here's a video. I got to play the video, Emperor of Cats. I found it for you. And let's put it on the screen right quick. We don't need the audio, really. We're just going to play the video. Matter of fact, let's do a little bit of audio if I have it. So you'll kind of understand what's going on for those that are not watching on video, listening to the audio only. Can I get the screen grab? There we go. So here we go. And the caption that somebody posted, not from Andrew Cuomo or his team, but just a person, a blue checker, says, Andrew Cuomo really thought this montage was a good idea. It is not a great or a good idea.
The New York Times published a front page picture of me touching a woman's face at a wedding.
Now, okay, before we even go further, if you're listening on audio only, he is interspersing pictures here. Not the guy who posted it. I'm talking about Andrew Cuomo. This was the live feed. No, I played the video on the reaction I did. I did not put those pictures there. He did that. He wants to show us, Andrew Cuomo that is, he wants to show us that, now this ain't nothing like that. I'm just Italian. I'm just being a good guy. I'm not trying to harass anybody, all this, that, and the third. Now, the picture right here that you see on the screen, her face is blurred out, but I think they were glad to blur it out. You know, they're trying to protect her identity. I think that's not really it. I think they're trying to protect the fact that she's making this crazy face like, oh my God, why are you grabbing me? But let's go ahead and start from the beginning so I won't interrupt too much. But just know that there are a bunch of pictures interspersed in here that I did not put, that nobody else put other than Cuomo's team, because this is the pure audio and video straight from his feed that he released to the public. Let's start from the jump.
The New York Times published a front page picture of me touching a woman's face at a wedding and then kissing her on the cheek. That is not front page news. I've been making the same gesture in public all my life. I actually learned it from my mother and from my father. It is meant to convey warmth, nothing more. Indeed, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of photos of me using the exact same gesture. I do it with everyone, black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street. After the event, the woman told the press that she took offense at the gesture. And for that, I apologize. Another woman stated that I kissed her on the forehead at our Christmas party and that I said, "Ciao, Bella."
And he goes on after that to say, I don't remember that, but I'm sure I did do it. It's like, all right, but check it out. See, you can't use that excuse, Mr. Cuomo. You can't use that excuse because let's not forget, you were one of the main guys that was talking about Kavanaugh and he shouldn't be confirmed. There needs to be a thorough investigation and all this and that and the third. You were the main guy saying that. Not even your business, sir. You need to be the governor of New York, not be worried about Supreme Court justice nominations. See, you put your hat in the ring talking about Me Too and wanting to support Me Too. All right, well, support Me Too then. Don't do it when it benefits you. And then when it doesn't benefit you, you want to back away. No. If you're going to be one way, then always be that way. Be consistent. Don't be flip-flopping because now you in the hot seat. Okay, let's not do that. If Brett Kavanaugh was this monster and he shouldn't have been confirmed and the investigation happened and there shouldn't have been the vote until that happened, all right, well, check it out. You were subject to investigation. You got found to do some things that are wrong. So what's going to be the result? What was going to be the result if the investigation happened with Brett Kavanaugh and it came back that he did something inappropriate or he harassed women, touched them inappropriately? What was going to be the result of that from your point of view, Mr. Cuomo? Should he have been confirmed to the Supreme Court or nah? Should he be locked up? Should it be a civil penalty? Well, whatever you thought the penalty for him should have been, then let's apply that same thing to you. It's fair, right? I mean, I'm just saying it's fair. I'm not even saying that the report is correct. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying if you're going to be one way, then always be that way. Don't flip when you're in the hot seat. Same thing with your brother, Chris. You know, I saw an infographic today from Fox, and they were talking about how CNN is covering this whole thing with Andrew Cuomo and the harassment allegations. I think, was it Anderson Cooper, the guy that comes on before Cuomo? He did it. He covered this story for like 21 minutes. Don Lemon, who came on after Chris Cuomo, covered it for 21 minutes. But Andrew Cuomo had 0 minutes of coverage. Oh, because his brother's a governor, it's a conflict of interest. Oh, well, when the virus was going on and everybody was wanting to praise Andrew Cuomo, there was no problem having his brother on talking about how he's doing a great job. He put the good job, bro, talking about childhood stories, holding a gigantic Q-tip, all this and that. It was all good. Then this whole thing about it being your brother was not a conflict when things are going well, but when things are going not so well, when things are going bad, all of a sudden, nope, we can't talk about that. That's my brother. Conflict of interest. Oh, okay. It's funny how that works. And I think people are starting to wake up to what the media does. Those that might kind of been asleep, those might be saying, oh, ABL, you're a conspiracy theorist. Put your tinfoil hat, take off the USA hat and put on the tinfoil hat. Well, the evidence is right in front of you. I don't need to say anything. You could just watch TV. You could just watch the news and see it for yourself. Exactly. KY, Kentucky Patriot. Rules for thee, but not for me. Rules for thee, not for me. That's what it is. You can't do X, Y, and Z, but I can do whatever I want because I'm Andrew Cuomo. And you know what? The funniest, well, not funny. I don't want to say funny because this is a pretty serious thing. The craziest, better word, the craziest part is that the sexual harassment allegations is not even the biggest story. The biggest story is the nursing home scandal. I mean, that should be what we're talking about, trying to get him impeached or locked up on. Okay, how many people died? How many senior citizens died unnecessarily in New York nursing homes because of what Andrew Cuomo did, the policy of putting virus-positive patients in a nursing home? Early on, we knew that elderly people were the most at risk of catching this virus and dying. We knew that straight from the beginning. This is not a secret. It's not a conspiracy theory. We know it. It's a fact. But he put virus positive people in a nursing home with senior citizens. Many, many, many people died as a result of that. Janice Dean from Fox News, her in-laws died as a result of that. Okay, it's terrible. But that news is not really a big deal. Imagine if that were Ron DeSantis. Can you imagine what would happen? You know, Ron DeSantis got in trouble for prioritizing seniors to get the vaccine. Prioritizing. Imagine if he was to put people that had the virus, who might not even been senior citizens, in the nursing homes, and thousands of them died. What was going to be the reaction to that? I mean, if you think TDS is bad, or even the new kind of watered down version of TDS, the DDS, DeSantis derangement syndrome, if you think those things are bad, imagine if he was to have senior citizens in the nursing home just passing away because of what he did. Off the charts. But when Andrew Cuomo does it, it's no big deal. Sweep it under the rug. Let's let the sexual harassment allegations be the biggest story and focus on that. So if they do impeach him and get him out of there, it'll be for the sexual harassment, but they won't mention the whole thing about the senior citizens dying. That'll kind of be a footnote in history, although it should be the main story, right? And there was no excuse, because remember when Trump gave him that whole boat, a 1,200 bed hospital boat, fully staffed. It had 1,200 staff members who were sitting there mostly idle, doing nothing. 1,200 beds. The hospitals were allegedly packed from the window to the wall. You could have put virus positive people on that boat rather than the nursing homes, and you wouldn't have had so many deaths. But it didn't do that. It just let the ship sit out there and barely used it. I think they might have had a peak of like 30 patients on board out of the 1,200 capacity. You got all the money in the world, all the resources, everything, and you drop a straight goose egg. He sucks. But is he going to be recalled, impeached? What's going to happen? I don't know. And then my fear is, since New York is kind of hard to get, well, almost impossible to get a conservative guy in there in leadership, after him, who's going to be next? Like, at a certain point, Andrew Cuomo will come to an end as far as his term, whether he is removed from office, whether he resigns, which he probably won't do, impeached, whatever the case, he won't be the governor forever. So who's going to be the next guy? Is it going to be a guy better than him or worse than him? Let's not go in the wrong direction. Same thing with New York City. Is it going to be a better guy than Bill de Blasio or a worse guy than Bill de Blasio? I can't tell, but for you guys' sake, you guys that live in New York City, New York State, hopefully you have better representation up there, because right now, I mean, you got a couple of bumbling morons who have no idea what's going on at the helm in the state and in the city. And that's a great segue into my next thing about the vaccine mandates coming from your man, Bill de Blasio, New York City. I think it's happening in other parts of the country as well. I think California might be on this. I think maybe even New York State may have vax mandates coming from Cuomo. Talking about, I forget what it's called, the Epsilon. Well, that might be the new virus variant. But whatever it's called, some kind of pass to New York City, the key to New York City or something crazy like that. So if you want to do certain things in the city and or state, like, I don't know, work, I think they said city employees must be vaccinated and or tested regularly. I don't know. It's kind of confusing, because some things like employment, they're talking about get tested regularly or you got to get the shot. But then I heard them say, if you are a new employee, you got to have the shot. But I did not hear the caveat of, or you able to just get tested regularly. So is it a straight requirement for new employees? I don't really know. But anyway, if you want to go to a Broadway play in New York City, you got to do a variety of different things. You got to show proof of vaccination, so you got to be vaccinated, and you got to wear a mask. What's the purpose? Why can't I just wear a mask? You see what I'm saying? If the masks work and vaccines work, why can't I just choose one or the other? Like, tell me what's going on here so I can understand what's happening rather than kind of being in the dark. I love to know what's going on. But oh, and what else here? Somebody's cutting their grass like right now. It's like, sir, you can't even see. It's 8:00, 8:30. But anyway, hopefully you guys can't hear that in the background. But I'm gonna digress. I got kind of distracted. But anyway, so you gotta have the vax to get into certain places: indoor dining, indoor gyms, Broadway play, X, Y, and Z. And you're gonna pay more money because they have to front a lot of money to get everything ready to meet all these regulations. It's a few things going on. They gotta meet virus regulations, so that's gonna cause the price to go up. Then they gotta find people to staff these places. And since the federales are handing out all kind of benefits, I'll talk more about those in a minute. All these benefits, it's like no point in working. The federal government pays you more to do nothing and just sit at home and just be a leech. So they got to pay people a lot of money to go in there and work. Like I've said before on videos about raising the minimum wage, when you artificially raise wages like that, which is what it is, because if I got to raise wages because I'm competing with the federal government or the government makes me do it by mandate saying, okay, the wage must be X amount of dollars per hour. That's artificial. If the government are printing and spending money and just giving it to people, and I got to compete with them, that's artificial as well, because you shouldn't just be getting money given to you for no reason from the federales. That's not right. But anyway, since they got to raise the wages of people to get them in and actually stay for a while, they'll raise the price of everything at the place. Food, drinks, you name it. Everything will go up. That's called inflation. That's what's happening right now as I speak. But anyway, so you got to have this little card to show that you have the shot, or app on your phone, if I'm not mistaken, that'll show it as well. I think it's two different apps, one for New York City, one for New York State. But I saw on the news today that they already have a bunch of fakes out there. Like, it's a website you can go to. And I'm sure there are easier ways to do this, but they were talking about one particular way where if you send cryptocurrency, they'll give you a fake card. Now, I'm not promoting that. Don't get it twisted. I'm just reporting the news. So don't anybody try to flag this. I'm just saying, I don't know what the website's called. You guys probably know everything. I don't know everything. You can go to the website, pay in crypto, get you a fake card, and you can move around. I'm seeing some of the pictures of people in lines just showing their card like this. And the guy at the front, is he really going to be calling your doctor or somebody like that to check? Can they even do that? Is that legal? Is even having a Vax card to show somebody to get into a place, is that even legal? Must I disclose my medical status to you to get into a place? Is that legal? I feel like a lot of what they're doing from the Biden administrations, local governments, is just not legal at all. They're just kind of doing whatever, and they do what happens later. If I go to court, I go to court. So what? I'll fight it in court. I got me a high-powered lawyer team. I didn't pay them trillions of dollars to be on my squad. I'll beat the case, whatever it is. That's probably their mentality right now. Not really worried about the rule of law. Not really worried about the Constitution. That's why they don't want to have the police funded. If you have good police, if you have funded police, then how are you going to have any kind of actual law enforcement? Meaning, when they go out there and break the law to attack you and I as regular normie citizens, maybe the law will be enforced against them, and they don't like that. They want to have their guys and girls in there that'll give them preferential treatment so they won't have any kind of roadblocks to just straight breaking the law. But like I said, you can fake some of these cards, and I'm sure there's an easier way to do this rather than going to some kind of sketchy website and handing out crypto. You know, you could probably just go to your local printer or Office Depot or something like that, get some of that similar paper and make it. You could just print it on your home printer, laser printer or whatever. You could just print it off and do that. That's what I'm thinking. I would never do that. I would never fake a vax because, first of all, I'm not going to New York. Shout out to all the New Yorkers. You know, hopefully you enjoy your town. I'm seeing them rats. They're big as cats. I can't tell what's a rat or a cat in the city, but I digress. My whole thing is, shout out to y'all. However, I don't want to go to New York. Too much crime going on. People just getting beat in the head for no reason in the middle of the daytime. Crowded. The law enforcement is not what it should be. Not because of law enforcement, but because of the leadership. So it's going back to the old New York. Now, if you were to ask me about 3 years ago, do I want to visit? Sure, I visit. But now, no, I'm good. So I'm not really worried about the car where I am. I've seen the governor talk about it. I've seen the Speaker of the House talk about it. I've seen their local mayor talk about it. Nobody's doing this whole vax mandate stuff. All right. It's just not doing it. They're talking about science this, science that. Meanwhile, they're talking about the Delta variant and other variants they keep making up. Have you heard about the Delta Plus variant? I'm not making it up. I'm being dead serious. In South Korea, I think there's already been 2 cases or more of the Delta Plus variant. Delta Plus, like, what does it even mean? If it's different than Delta, why not call it the next thing after Delta? You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, if you have hurricane seasons, right? Like, I'm from Virginia, of course, on the beach, on the coast. So every year, right around this time, it's hurricane season. And they'll name them sequentially. Hurricane Alice, Hurricane Bertha, Hurricane Charlene, Hurricane Danny, Hurricane, whatever the name is, it'll go in alphabetical order, right? So rather than just naming like Hurricane Isabel, which was a big one back in the day, rather than naming the next one Isabel Plus, how about the next thing in line? How about Hurricane, I don't know, Jasmine or something like that, rather than Isabel Plus? It's stupid. I feel like they're kind of like playing with you at this point. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you guys like HBO Max, HBO Plus, so we just name it the same way so you kind of can relate to it. It's like, what? But that's kind of what's going on. That's what's happening. Somebody said Delta. That's what you get when you go on Delta. If you want to get the full leg room, you get Delta Plus. That's like the first class ticket. Hilarious. But they're really telling us this stuff like it's no big deal. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's put it on the screen. This is on the Daily Beast. And let's see. You see it right here? I ain't make it up. South Korea reports 2 cases of Delta Plus variant. I promise I did not make it up. It's right there, black and white, right on the screen. So it's like, what are we even doing? Why? And there'll be more. And I've heard that it's already been in Europe. Delta and Lambda already been in Europe, and it's no big deal. And there's not a lot talked about it right now. But of course, we got to get the fear-mongering, all this kind of stuff. Just, I'm not really with it. I'm just not really with it. Oh, and I have Jacob says ABL plus only $20 a month. Hilarious. Now, speaking about the hysteria behind all this, do you guys know about the group called the Offspring? They're a 90s, I guess you would call them a rock or kind of a rock group. They had that song Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Remember that? Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Damn. Remember them? All right. So the drummer for the group, I don't know his name specifically, but the drummer for the group got kicked out of the group because he didn't want to get the vaccine. Now, I'm going to explain why he didn't get the vaccine. I'm not sure if he's like me, where I'm just kind of skeptical and history kind of is like, I don't know about that. I've seen this happen and that happen. I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. He's not necessarily that from what I'm able to see. Punk rock, okay. What happened was he went to his doctor and his doctor advised him to not get it. His doctor said don't do it. Why? Because he already has Guillain-Barré from when he was a little boy. And he still has it right now. And as the years have progressed, it has gotten worse. So his doctor was like, hey, if you take that, that may complicate your condition that you already have. Okay, Guillain-Barré. And one of the vaccine side effects could be Guillain-Barré. With any kind of vaccine like that, it can aggravate Guillain-Barré or give you the disease if you didn't have it before. But he already has Guillain-Barré from when he was a little kid, and it's gotten worse progressively throughout his life. And he already had the virus before. He had the virus last year and he had mild symptoms. So what does a vaccine do? It gives you the antibodies or something similar to that, right? If I'm wrong about anything, let me know in the comments. If you've had the virus, you have the antibodies. If you have Guillain-Barré, you might not want to take a vaccine that could aggravate it, and it'll give you something that you don't want to have. There's no need for him to have it, but he was still kicked out of the group. Still kicked out. And they're talking about, oh, well, we're going to certain venues where we're performing and they got mandates, all this, that, and the third. Is that everywhere, really? And I think maybe they might take an exception to a guy who already had the virus and has, Guillain-Barré already. Maybe they might take an exception for that. But aside from the thing about going to the venues and whatnot, they were saying that, when I say they, I mean his bandmates in the Offspring, they were saying that he's unsafe to be around, not safe to be in the studio, all this and that and the third. So it's like a leper to his own friends in the band. It's crazy. I mean, they're talking about trust the science, believe the science. Your doctor is saying don't get it. Your doctor. It ain't like he just said, you know what, I don't want it. His doctor said don't do it. And the funniest thing is Johnny Appleseed 123 Egg Avatar on Twitter talking about, oh, your doctor is wrong. Fire your doctor. It's like, sir, where's your medical degree at? Where's your experience? Can I go to your office and get a tonsillectomy? Can you even put the little thingamabobber on my knee and make it jump up? Can you even do that, sir? Do you have any kind of office anywhere? Do you have a lab? Do you have a white coat at all? Do you have any kind of white overcoat? Like, you can't even pretend to be a doctor. You're not a doctor, sir. I'll take my doctor's advice over some random guy. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying all doctors are totally 100% correct. However, if I had to pick between random nobody with no medical experience, no nothing, just a Twitter account and a cold beer versus an actual doctor who I've been knowing for a long time, my primary care physician, who am I going to go with? Anybody want to guess? PCP, exactly. My primary care physician, period. Not Broncos fan 895 on Twitter, period. So yeah, this whole thing is crazy. That's why I'm kind of like, hey, all these mandates and whatnot is so silly. It's completely silly. 100%. Yeah, Dr. Jill Biden. Isn't she like a PhD candidate? I don't know. Like, is she treat patients? We're talking about Dr. Bill Cosby. Well, he's a pharmacist, but that's a different story. Anyway, I'll move right along away from that one. I don't want to go too far down that road. Yeah, Dr. Fauci, another. You see, yeah, some doctors better than others. Dr. Kevorkian, no way. Dr. Fauci, no way. Dr. Jill Biden, no way. Dr. Bill Cosby, nope. I'm not a dope fiend, so I have no need to go to Bill Cosby. And I'm not trying to be in a weird position with him anyway. But again, I'll move right along. Thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. What else we got going on? Okay, so the rapper DaBaby, have you seen that? I'll speak on this briefly, and the reason why I did this video is to point out all the liberal hypocrisy and the chain of oppression. I'll explain what that means. So here's a guy, DaBaby, a very well-known rapper. One of music's greatest, has hit songs with guys like Lil Baby, not DaBaby, Lil Baby, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, all the greats, right? You on Billboard Awards, you on Jimmy Fallon with Questlove, you're everywhere, right? You're like the darling. Now, your lyrics are a little bit violent. You might talk about, shooting somebody or whatever. It's kind of explicit. If you got little kids, I would not suggest turning on DaBaby or either one in the car. That's not really, toddler appropriate. It's not really family friendly. Typical rapper stuff, right? We're not talking about positive rapper Christian rap here. We're talking about just average, everyday street rapper, DaBaby, but very popular. Anyway, So he goes to a concert, he's performing, and at some point he pauses the performance and gives shout outs. Shout out to the women in here, you smelling right. Shout out to this group over here, the guys that are not doing anything weird to other guys in the parking lot. And shout out to the guys that don't have any kind of incurable STDs, right? I'm cleaning it up, obviously, because I don't speak rapper and we got little babies watching. But you understand what I'm kind of saying. And if you've not seen it, then you can find it on your own. But basically, the LGBTQ LMNOP community said, hey, wait a minute, sir. You can't say that. You can't talk about the LGBT community while you're talking about HIV AIDS. You can't do that. Now, there's two things here. He didn't say anything about anybody that's gay that has AIDS. He was talking about AIDS and then something about somebody that's gay. Now, they might have been both disparaging, but he didn't necessarily link them together. But because he mentioned them at the same time or close to the same time, that was enough to say, you're trying to say that you're trying to push a stigma of HIV AIDS on the LGBT community. Therefore, we're going to cancel you. He got dropped from all these concerts, dropped from Rolling Loud, Lollapalooza, dropped by a clothing company called Boohoo. I don't make the names up. I'm just reporting the news. That's all. So don't blame me, blame the white man. But anyway, he got dropped from all these concerts and they made him apologize not once, but twice. So he apologized twice, but he keeps getting people cancel him. Sir Elton John, then attacked him. Madonna, all these people, like the whole music industry attacked him for comments he made during the concert that weren't even really directly at the LGBT community. Not all of them. Some of it was not the whole thing. But they took all of what he said and said, you're trying to attack us. So my thing is this. It kind of reminds me of what happened to not LG, the TV, YG, the rapper. Now, this guy had a song about home invading Chinese people, right? And it was very descriptive, like a step-by-step process. Now, YG's black, Compton gang member, blood or whatever, talking about home invading Chinese people. Now, it was a whole big ruckus about this because of the whole Stop Asian Hate. Remember the whole thing about Stop Asian Hate a few months ago? That was like a month-long campaign, I guess. Anyway, during that whole thing, they said, hey, this song is offensive. Take it down from YouTube. And they did. It had been there for years, since like, I think 2016 or before then, maybe even like 2013, 2014. It had been there for a long time. But then they took it down because of the anti-Asian lyrics. But guess what? They brought it back on YouTube. And what they did was take out the word Chinese, as far as in the context of find a Chinese house, scope it out, to home invade. The word Chinese was taken out, but there's plenty N-words that are left right in there. It's the same thing with DaBaby. It's like, okay, the anti-LGBT thing is wrong and you need to be reprimanded. You got to apologize over and over again, and it's still not enough. They want more and more and more. They might want a little bit too much. Anyway, you do all that for that, but the same concerts had no problem with all the gang banging, the thugging and the drugging, N-word this, B-word that. You can say whatever you want about your own people, unless you're LGBT. That's totally fine. You can talk about killing somebody, little man, black dude. Whatever you want is totally fine. No problem. That's not offensive. Matter of fact, I think Black Lives Matter because of how you talked about killing that black man in that song. Black Lives Matter. Say something about somebody LGBT. Now you got to apologize. It tells you the hypocrisy of Hollywood and also of the hierarchy. The LGBT community comes before any kind of racial thing. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. That's who has more power. You're talking about like the BLM people think they got power. BLM has no power. BLM is a fundraising component. And a lot of that is, and matter of fact, that's a great example. BLM is an LGBT group. That's an LGBT front. If BLM was not LGBT, would it be as popular as what it is? I mean, it's a rhetorical question. Just ask yourself the question. If BLM was not founded by not one, not two, but three lesbians, one of whom is married to a transgender white man, if it were not that, would it be as popular? Would it be as big? Would you have one of the founders with a whole real estate portfolio worth $3.2 million? You tell me. I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to draw connections. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with somebody being LGBT. I'm saying it's wrong for anybody to weaponize your identity to attack people, to be a hypocrite, and to destroy the fabric of the nation. That's all I'm trying to say. But hey, you guys let me know what's going on with that. I feel like there's definitely an agenda. Did you guys see? I spoke about Lil Nas X, right? Lil Nas X had the greatest song, or a really popular song among the kids. Old Town Road, Ride Can't Till I Can't No More. He went to elementary schools performing it, went on Sesame Street, all of that. He was looked up to by a lot of kids all over the country. Okay, like a childhood icon. Imagine you're a little boy, you're a little girl, and you see somebody that you like a lot, like the music. You're in there doing little dances to it. Your mom is cheering you on. This is your guy, right? Lil Nas X. And then here he is 6 months later with his shirt off, box braids, pink box braids with baby hair, doing a twerk session on the devil. He's twerking on the devil in the video. And then after that, he has a song where he is completely naked dancing. Your child loves him. You see kind of where I'm going? And also, for those that say, oh, you just tinfoil hat, ABL, put the tinfoil hat on. Well, did you guys see Gonzo from Sesame Street crotch dress, put on a evening gown? Did you guys see that? I won't show the actual transformation. I'll show you a picture. And you can see kind of what I'm talking about. So when somebody says that you're trying to, you just anti-LGBT, nah. I mean, if somebody is gay, I don't really care. But the thing is, when I see things like this, I'm like, all right, well, where are we going? Is that appropriate for little kids to see? To see a male put on a dress? And it was directed toward children. A child's show when you see it, right? It's certain language they use, certain kind of way they talk, and the pitch in their voice. This is not for adults. This is for children. So why would a child need to see Gonzo from Muppet Babies transforming into, I guess we would call it a drag queen? What's going on here? So yeah, there's definitely an agenda, and can nobody tell me that it's not? It's just a fact. And I think a lot of people that are LGBT probably wouldn't even agree with that, but a lot of people that have nefarious intentions do agree with that. So, yeah, I mean, Boomhauer, man, I was the same way. I was triggered too. I saw that. I was like, nah, that can't be real. I thought it was somebody just making a meme or something. I didn't think it was real, but nah, that's real. 1000% real. So this is what I'm talking about. It all kind of goes together. All right. So we have more to cover today. Oh yeah, we got more to cover. Now, did you guys see the whole thing with the eviction moratorium? Now, the eviction moratorium, I did a video about that before, where they had let the moratorium expire on, what was that, July 31st. And it officially expired on Sunday, the 1st of this week, the 1st of August. So after the 1st, there was no more eviction moratorium. You were in the house 12 months, a year, whatever the case may be, not paying rent. Okay, it's time to go, sir. Time to go, ma'am. Pack your bags. Matter of fact, hey, if you can't pack your bags, I'll just take your stuff and throw it outside. How about that? It's time to go. Anyway, I thought it was over with, right? On a federal level. Now, some states, they had it to where they extended it. I think New York State and or city has like 2 months they added on to it just in the state. So it's illegal to evict anybody, because to evict someone from your home, you got to go to court. You got to go through a court process. I mean, I've seen it before. I've been there. Well, I almost got evicted before myself way back in the day. And what they would do, you would see it sometimes, apartment complexes. No, the craziest thing that I would see is after Christmas, you would go just right around the neighborhood in an apartment complex, and half the doors have the notices on the front for eviction because they ain't paid their rent because they got to do the Christmas gifts. So they're kind of behind trying to get their rent. I've seen that a lot. But anyway, it's a sheriff's notice. A lot of times when you're about to get evicted and not just late, it's a sheriff's notice. 7 days or quit in Virginia, at least. It could be different depending upon where you are, but in Virginia, 7 days or quit. So you have to, it's a court process you got to go through. And if you can't go to court, if they're not allowing these cases to go to court, then you can't evict somebody because you got to go through that process to evict them. So you have landlords that have people that are basically squatters, not paying rent. And they're talking about, oh, well, people have a hard time and it's, the economy's bad. There are help wanted signs everywhere. If you're not working, it's because you may have a disability, you may not be able to work physically, or you just don't want to work. That's simply it. You just don't want to work. I see it every day. You go out to the little shopping center area, and it'd be a guy with a sign talking about, I work for food. It'd be an entire bouquet of help wanted signs behind him. Like if you took a picture of it, landscape, it kind of zoomed out, he'd be right there in the center with one little baby sign. It'd be 500 signs behind him that it say help wanted. They're everywhere. And we ain't talking about no low paying jobs either, because of all the inflation going on, the price of the jobs are paying more. $15 an hour to go to McDonald's with a sign-in bonus. I saw an ad that said you can get an iPhone to go to McDonald's and work. McDonald's, $15 an hour and an iPhone. Still don't want to work. Why do that? You get more benefits by being at the crib. Okay? Now, the whole thing with the unemployment insurance, that's one thing. Is that still going on from the federales? The federal unemployment insurance, local unemployment insurance, welfare programs, WIC, EBT, TANF, Section 8, all these things going on, and the rent moratorium or eviction moratorium. People are not paying rent. They're getting money. They're stacking it. This is why you have all these fights on the airplane, because you got all these ghetto people, low-class people that never been anywhere before, that don't fly often, now have all this money. They're not working. They're not paying rent. They're not doing anything else. Why not go to Miami from New York? Why not? I got the money. But they're not used to being on airplanes. They're not really used to being outside of their neighborhood. In their neighborhood, they got to fight all the time, or they kind of got to always be head on the swivel. So they take that same ghetto energy to the plane. Now they're fighting. And I see blacks, whites, everybody doing this. Where I live, you can see some of the freshest tattoos on some of the most ghetto people. Hop in a beat up car, brand new tattoos. They look great in their mind, but I see somebody just spending the money on is improperly. And the whole thing with the rent moratorium is aiding in it. I saw a story on Fox where it was a tenant. Well, it was a landlord, black guy in Brooklyn. I said it in the video too, if I'm not mistaken. But the landlord was talking about how he has a row house in Brooklyn, right? And the tenant has not paid rent in the past 2 years. And with all the extra benefits, all the federal unemployment assistance, state unemployment assistance, welfare benefits, food banks, all these things, the person has not paid 1 red cent, not even contributed towards the rent in 2 years. So this is before the scamdemic. So it was already a problem. Here comes the scamdemic. Now the courts are closed. You can't do nothing. But anyway, the tenant subletted the apartment. The tenant rented the space out to someone else. They sublet it. They took all the money the guy was giving them to live there, as far as the tenant is concerned, but the tenant did not give any of the cash that he got from subletting to the actual owner of the house. It's like, man, come on. I'm on me right now with no pistol. I'm being robbed. This is like in the street robbery with a gun, but with no gun. I'm being robbed here. You see the same story over and over again. Now, some are going to say, wait a minute, ABL, there's renter's assistance, or there's landlord assistance and renter's assistance that's available from the federal government. Well, that money goes into a pot that the state manages. So they got a bunch of money and a bunch of programs too. And a lot of times the programs are not really run very well. there's corruption happening, I would assume. Might be a little bit of skimming going on, preferential treatment. If you live in LA, they might, prioritize illegal aliens, illegal alien tenants. If you can't be an illegal alien tenant, but anyway, they prioritize certain groups beyond just the regular normie landlord or big corporation landlord. So are you gonna get your money? I saw a story in Atlanta, DeKalb County, where they give you some assistance, but it was only like half. So if you have a tenant in your home and they are a year past due on their rent, you can file a claim and get half of that. But if you took that money, then you couldn't sue the tenant for the remaining balance. So you pretty much just got, 50% of your money just is gone. You can't get it. You can't sue to get it back, take it or leave it. So what ends up happening is people are selling their homes rather than dealing with the tenant that's not paying or a squatter. Because if you sell your home, that's a loophole right there to get out of the rent moratorium. All you got to do is give them a 2 months notice. You can sell and then you be done. They have to get out, but you don't have the house anymore. That's the actual point, I think, in my humble opinion. A lot of these companies like BlackRock, they want to come in, get all the property, and do what they want with it and rent it back to you at a very high rate whenever they want to. Having a big real estate portfolio. If you think Patrice Cullors from BLM has a big real estate portfolio, it's nothing compared to these guys from BlackRock that got people that work in the Biden administration that are lobbying for their own interests to go out there and get money. That's the big criminals right there. Guys in the suit and ties in the federal government. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. That's probably the end game here, is to just make life so difficult for the landlords, drain them financially. The guy in Brooklyn that had the row house where the guy was subletting, the guy owed $65,000 in rent. $65,000. Imagine your tenant is that much in the red on their rent, and you still got to provide for the home. Still got to provide maintenance. Imagine getting a call from your tenant talking about come fix my light bulb in my front for you, and they owe you all that money. They could fix it themselves by going to Home Depot, getting a step ladder and doing it, but they want to call you. It's a slap in the face. I refuse. So this whole thing with the moratorium's got to stop. And you had your girl out there, what's her name? Cori Bush, on the steps of the Capitol protesting the eviction moratorium expiring. So now it's taking a victory lap. Like we gotta win here. This is great for us. And I think AOC was out there for a while protesting, quote unquote protesting. She was out there for a while doing her thing, feeling great about herself. And so now they've taken a victory lap. And if you've not seen the video of Cori Bush with the neatly placed snacks, I'm put on the screen right quick for you guys. Now, if you can't see right here what's happening, she's on the Capitol steps. It's trash everywhere because I guess she slept there, I suppose. She has this big red blanket comforter type thing, some kind of bag on top of that. A Costco size box of Oreos neatly placed right beside her on the right hand side. Right behind her head, also very neatly placed, is a box of Cheez-Its, some Ruffles. It's like I'm watching an advertisement. I mean, there may as well just be a direct product placement. Like, hey, buy Oreos today. Might as well be that because you couldn't get no more obvious. It's kind of getting to the point where it's like just dumb stuff going on. We're beyond that point of dumb stuff going on, but now it's just like blatantly dumb. Just ridiculously stupid to the point where it's obvious. Why is she crying? I don't understand. Like, what are you crying about? You chilling. You got your comfort food right there. Pop you a few Oreos, gain about 75 pounds, and you'll be good money.
Triggering.
Oh, you trigger? Okay.
When you hear the cries of others, when you hear the suffering of others, we're already fighting a battle and losing a battle because there are people who slept out last night, the night before. There are people who are already unhoused, and we don't have enough. Shelters. We don't have the safe housing for them.
I'm on pause right there, talking about homeless people. If you see a homeless person, I'm gonna say the majority of the time they want to be homeless. Not all the time, but the majority of the time they want to be homeless. California especially, they travel to California to be homeless because, I mean, why not? They could be crackheads and free. They could be crackheads in beautiful weather. Like, go to Venice Beach. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Well, not all the time because you got the crackheads too. But anyway, if you want to shoot heroin and smoke crack, it's fine. In California, they give you all the paraphernalia you need for free and 3 hots in the cot. They give you whatever you want. It's straight. You could be outside and you could be amongst your element. You could be among other crack smokers. You got a little crack smoking group. You have a little crack smoking community, a little heroin hut. You have that over in California. So that's the whole thing about people that are homeless. A lot of times, not all the time, obviously. But if I see you living in a patch of filth on the ground, I assume you were on drugs, period.
Right now. And that's a failure. That's another moral failure on our society. And so to then say, yeah, 7 million more, you can go while I go on vacation. 7 million more, you can go ahead. Like, that was your decision to be in this position. No. This is a systemic problem. This is a structural problem that can be handled by better policy decisions.
And I can't help but notice her hair. I guess it's kind of done. I'm not really sure what I don't want to go down that road. Nails, all that kind of stuff. You went to the salon before you went out and just laid on the ground.
So that's why we're out here.
It's so fake, it's whack. I think I'm done with that particular video. But that's Cori Bush, the freshman congresswoman from St. Louis. Yeah, she's part of the squad, or she's like squad adjacent. She's not quite in the squad, but she's squad adjacent. She's with brand new Congress, all these guys, Jamal Bowman and whatnot. She's like the JV squad member. Okay, the squad is officially AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, and Pramila Jayapal. Well, she's part of it, but also the other lady, the Palestinian, I forget her name. You guys know what I'm talking about. The lady from Michigan. That's the official squad. She's like a JV squad member. All right. And then what else we got? I want to show you guys one more clip, if I can find it, before we get to Super Chats. I'm going to try to find that clip. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate y'all. If you enjoyed the show so far, give the video a thumbs up, please. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, here's wait a minute. I'm going to show you 2 more videos, and then we'll get to Super Chats. I'm going to show you a good one at the end. Now, here's one thing I want to talk about because I see this a lot. I see it a whole lot. People talking about they want to blame. Matter of fact, before I say anything, let's just watch the video and listen to it for ourselves. Let's get a little bit of sound.
I don't understand. I mean, the Trump following is in many ways fundamentally a cult. It's a cult in every sense, and now it appears to be a sort of Jim Jones era cult.
A death cult.
A death cult. And
yeah. That's ultimately where it ends. If the leader doesn't care whether you live or die, that's a death cult.
I mean, the reality is, I don't know if I've said this to you before, but I've said it before, a religion is when your savior dies for you. A cult is when you're being asked to die for your savior. And unfortunately, that is where we are with the Republican Party. It's bizarre. My father leaned Republican. This isn't because I dislike Republicans, I'm saying it. There's something wrong and there's something broken in the party.
Now, the context of that is the whole thing about the vaccine. I mean, skeptical of the vaccine. So basically, they're trying to say that Trump and Trump supporters are the reason why people don't want to go out there and get the vaccine. But didn't she forget about how Trump is the one that developed the vaccine project? What was it, Operation Warp Speed? It was him. First of all. Second of all, the reality is that it's majority minorities who don't have the vaccine. It's majority minorities. And you're talking about, I think, the group in America that has the lowest rate of vaccination are black folks. And do black folks vote Republican? No. 90% Democrat. So what are we talking about here exactly? I don't really get it. When you're talking about whites and Hispanics, like right around the same. It's like 48% between whites and Hispanics, but among blacks, it's like 35% that have had at least one shot. So in New York, it's like 65% of blacks do not have the shot. So how are we trying to blame Trump for that? I don't really understand how that makes any sense. It's a distraction. They'll say things that don't make any sense to distract you. Keep your eyes off the prize. Keep your eyes off the target. Oh, look over there. Don't look over there. Over there is where you should be looking. Over here, where they have you, is not where you just. That's not where you got to be at all. That is not the proper place to be. Matter of fact, can I find that stat that was talking about people who have those who have the shot? I can find that later. But I got one last video for you guys before we get to the super chats. And here's my favorite video that I've seen in a while. And you guys I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. But this is my favorite video that I've seen in quite a long time. And we need much more of this. I mean, all these woke athletes, all these crybaby athletes, I don't want to see it. I want to see I want to see winners win, and I want to see patriots be patriotic. And we got all of that in this one video. Check it out.
Of course I'm surprised myself. It's by the grace of God I'm able to even move my feet. Like, I just leave it in his hands, and I pray that all the practice, that the hell that my freaking coaches put me through pays off. And every single time it does. And I get better and better. And it's so weird that there is no cap to the limit that I can do. And I'm excited to see what I have next.
Last question for you. That American flag around your shoulders looks pretty good. How does that feel to represent your country like this?
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it. And I'm so happy I get to represent USA. Love it.
Well said. Congratulations. Enjoy that gold, and we'll see you out there on the podium, okay?
Thank you. I'll try not to cry, but no promise.
Perfect. 100% perfect. That's what I like. Absolutely perfect. Now, her name is Tamara Mensah Stock, and she won gold in wrestling, women's wrestling. So you got a winner, patriotic, loving the country, no chip on her shoulder. What more can you want? That's what I like. And she black. And you can't really see her. In case you don't know, she black. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that. Be excited about winning. Think about, thanking your trainers, thanking your country, loving your country. Fantastic. I like seeing that rather than people getting praised for losing or quitting. It's like, why get praised for losing or quitting? It's like, if you got something going on to where you need to handle that, okay, I understand, handle your business, but let's praise the winners. Let's praise those that love the country and win. That's sports, period. I don't care, male, female, whatever the case. Let's praise those that win. If you got something going on, all right, go ahead, deal with it, no problem. But winning is ultimately the goal, yes? Maybe I'm a little bit old school for thinking about winning rather than just some of the other accolades that don't relate to winning. But yeah, shout out to her. Again, her name is Tamara Mensah Stock, and she won gold in women's wrestling. So yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, the twisties and all of that, it's fine. If you have an ailment or something, okay, cool. People get injured all the time. Guys in the NBA playoffs, they get injured. It's like, all right, well, hey, you're injured, next guy up, or the next person that could perform on just like with the NBA playoffs, right? A lot of guys got injured in the playoffs, but ultimately the team who had fewer injuries, who are more durable, who are more skilled, won. That's what it's about. Being hurt, part of the game. I never see anybody get praised for getting hurt. It's unfortunate if somebody gets hurt or they got something going on. Okay, but that's that. But let's talk about the game and who's winning. It's separate things. Let's not make it be the same thing. Let's not put being hurt or having the mental problem on the same level as winning. It makes no sense. But yeah, shout out to Tamara, 100%. All right. And I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll take calls in a few minutes. Y'all just hang tight while I get everything set up and ready to rock. All right. Let's get to it here. Hold on. And where we at? Let's go over this way. What's the day? August the 4th? Okay, cool. Here we are. Thank you to Peach Sangria, who says, Comrade Cuomo and de Blasio, the Führer, done blanked up this great state. Sad. Yeah, so unfortunate. Shout out to all you guys in New York. I pray for you guys that you're not going to be, taken over by this whole nonsense that's happening. Hopefully everything will be better than what it is right now. Thank you to Bart versus Windshield, who says, feds won't pay homeowners who rent their investment homes. Biden again trying to bankrupt millions of Americans so they become dependent on big government. Terrible. And it's like, you try to do the right thing, right? A lot of these guys in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. I watched this show called, the documentary called ESPN 30 for 30 Broke. I watch it all the time because, dealing with money and things of that nature is very good. Also, relationships and friendships, whatever. Anyway, one of the things they say is that guys don't put the money in the right places. And you got a lot of guys talking about, put your money in real estate. It's a good vehicle to keep your money, hedging against inflation, have investment properties. But guys have investment properties. Here comes the federal government ruining their investment. So it's like, I'm doing the right thing, but the government is ruining it for me. I didn't want to lose my money, but the government basically stole my money. So it's like, what are we even doing here? It's crazy. And all for what though? Because really what happens with the whole eviction moratorium, guys don't pay their rent and they go live their best life. Getting tattoos, getting Postmates, gaining 100 pounds, all this and that. People did. People didn't work and they just got fat. And it's like, you get all this extra money kicking around. Why not pay your rent? If you're going to get big, at least pay rent. Rather than spending money on food 100% of the time and just devouring that 24/7, how about put some of the money towards rent like you're supposed to, rather than relying on this government program to pay it for you and then not even pay your rent. It's so silly. Let me see. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, hospitals are forcing vaccines and you get fired. Your papers, please, is here. I saw some nurses and doctors protesting this, and they had a sign that said something like, we were the heroes during the pandemic while we were working with no vaccines, but now we're zeros because we don't want to get the vaccine. You go from hero to zero. It's crazy how they do you. They praise you 1 minute and then they cancel you the next, all because of your personal decisions. But you're the same person doing the same thing you did before. Master Wuhan says, bat soup, ? I'll pass on that one. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, when you attend Obama's birthday, I know you were invited. I am not invited. I am not invited, so I won't be going to that at all. But yeah, that's the funniest thing in the world. Didn't he cancel that or quote unquote scale it back? So Obama's birthday party is going to be like 700 people there. So we got a pandemic going on, right? We got the Delta variant, all this, that, and the third. And you want to have a star-studded birthday bash for your 60th with 700 people there? Okay. But at the same time, you talk about wear a mask to go inside the Publix with like nobody around you until like the next hour. And you want to put little labels on the floor to say, walk this way, walk that way. But you can have a whole party with no mask on with hundreds of people at your house. It's so dumb. I'm about tired of these people and their hypocrisy. That's why when I watch television at all, period, even Fox, I just like kind of roll my eyes. I roll my eyes more than I read, and I read all day long. So you do the math on that one. But I digress. Let me see. Bo versus Windshield says, I got $50 that Governor Hot Lips Cuomo and Baby Bro both cry on camera in under 48 hours. Hilarious. Thank you for tea. Shout out to my man Jericho Green who says, great stream as usual at ABL. Shout out to Governor Cuomo, a.k.a. Governor Touch Your Mom. Thank you, Jericho. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Apple who says, ABL, you took down Sean King pretty hard. Talcum X, Martin Luther King. Your fan at Ronan Jones has a few nicknames. Thurgood Marshmallow. He does look like T.I. Identical to T.I. That's his whole thing. He took T.I.'s look. He identity thieved, that's the word, from T.I. He's a Clifford Harris identity theft. That's a fact. Terenia says, Javits Center and the boat wasn't used to spite Trump. That's crazy. And it's like people die as a result of that. Is a Trump derangement syndrome so bad you'll kill people you'll kill your own people to spite them? Why? It can't be that bad, but apparently it was. Apparently it was. People are crazy. They get to Lobber Bulls who says, I heard a caravan of migrants from Brooklyn was forming to travel down the Florida border in hopes of finding a better life. Hilarious. Apple says a few here. Democrat scandal, Mario Cuomo, Willie Brown, Jesse Jackson, Barney Frank, Elliot Spitzer, Anthony Weiner, Eric Schneiderman, Ted Kennedy, Bill Clinton. Also, liberal media covers for creepy Democrats, Epstein and Buck. Oh, yeah. That whole thing with, what was that? Ed Buck, is that the guy's name? The donor that killed the 2 black men in his house? The 2 homeless HIV, or not, it was HIV. They were homeless drug addicts, and he put drugs in them and killed them. And the whole point of him putting drugs in them was to see how they would respond, but they died after he did it. A sick person, big Hillary Clinton supporter, mega donor, millions of dollars. They covered it up. It was crazy. The people that were in that house were doing the same thing that your man did. What's my man? Andrew Gillum, remember that? That guy was that close to becoming the governor of Florida. Talk about dodging the bullet. I'm talking about Matrix. That's what happened with Andrew Gillum, but I'll move on. Let me see. Ian Kenny says, how do you feel about the 4th DC police officer who was now committed suicide? Is it just me, or does this all seem suspicious? It seems very suspicious. I don't know what's going on, but it looks suspicious. I mean, how does that really happen? All these guys at once, and why? I just don't really understand what's happening. I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening in the DC that people don't really know about. What happened to Seth Rich? Have we solved that problem yet? Have we solved that question yet? I don't think so. I'll put it to you like this. If we can get down to the bottom of the Seth Rich situation, we could have a little bit more insight into these Capitol officers, in my humble opinion. Apple says DeSantis calling out Biden for border crisis. Oh, yeah. That was a great video. Hold on. Let me find that right quick. That was really, really good. And he was right on point, too. Let me find it. Hold on. I know I got it here somewhere. Oh, yeah. I'll play some of this. It's kind of long. It's like 4 minutes. Let's play it a little bit here.
Well, thanks. We're excited to be here, and I just want to say something quickly. Joe Biden has taken to himself to try to single out Florida over COVID. This is a guy who ran for president saying he was going to, quote, shut down the virus. And what has he done? He's imported more virus from around the world by having a wide open southern border. You have hundreds of thousands of people pouring across every month. And it's not just from Mexico. In fact, it's rarely from Mexico. You have over 100 different countries where people are pouring through. Not only are they letting them through, they're then farming them out all across our communities across this country, putting them on planes, putting them on buses. Do you think they're being worried about COVID for that? Of course not. So he's facilitating. Who knows what new variants are out there, but I can tell you whatever variants are around the world, they're coming across that southern border. And so he's not shutting down the virus, he's helping to facilitate it in our country. And what is his big solution? What is he so upset about Florida? His solution is he wants to have the government force kindergartners to wear masks in school. He doesn't believe the parents should have a say in that. He thinks that should be a decision for the government. Well, I can tell you in Florida, the parents are going to be the ones in charge of that decision. And one of the major medical people in his administration just recently told parents that they should be wearing masks at home when they're around their own children. This is insane.
So yeah, this is a really good video. The full video should be available on Twitter. There's a caption here from I think that's Cernovich talking about DeSantis is who Trump pretended to be. That's so silly. I don't believe in that caption at all. The video was the most important thing. You know, I think DeSantis has been enabled because of Trump, and that's a good thing. I don't say that in a negative way. I'm talking about Trump has enabled a lot of politicians to be more vocal and to be braver than what they had been before, in my opinion, on the right especially, because the left have been so dominant dealing with the media. Now the right has some dominance when you're talking about social media, online. We can counteract them that way. So yeah, shout out to DeSantis. Yeah, a mask at home. It's like, why having a mask at the crib? But yeah, DeSantis is right on point. And it's like, okay, you got the southern border wide open. Don't tell me anything about what's happening anywhere else. Because you got these people coming in by the thousands every single day, thousands of them every day. And they got the bug, they got all kind of stuff. They got mumps, measles, a little bit of everything. Don't be surprised if you see other stuff come in. They already said some kind of quote unquote super bug from Texas. I wonder where that came from. Honduras or Africa somewhere, who knows? Asia. You know, the whole world is coming to the southern border to try to come into America. The whole world, over oceans, over land, however they can, they're going to get here because it's wide open. Letting everybody in. It's like Ole defense. Go ahead. After you. Open the car door for them. Where's my mask? No mask here. I'm good. You know, I've been totally fine. I've been traveling a lot. I was traveling a lot, especially like during the 2020. I was traveling a whole lot. And I'm gonna travel some more this year too, and it's not gonna be no big deal. Not at all. All right, let me get my super chats right quick, and then we get to the calls. Y'all hang tight. Let me see. All right. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says it's not illegal to disclose your medical history to non-medical personnel. It's not legal to disclose your medical history to non-medical personnel. Got you. Thank you to Apple, who says, God bless 1-6 MAGA Patriots unfairly jailed before trial. Also, DC jail won't let Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Louis Gohmert, and Gosar visit. Buff vs. Windshield says the Biden administration has requested UN to investigate racism and bring troops if the UN sees fit. China is on the UN Security Council too. That's not going to work. That's going to be a big problem if you have the UN come to America. And it's like, what are they going to do? Racism? What are they really going to do with the UN? I mean, I feel like they're going to try to say, oh, we're trying to control racism and then put the UN right in a lot of these black and quote unquote brown communities. They won't put it where the white man is, but they say, oh, it's for your own good because we got to protect from the white supremacists. But really, it'd be about keeping you in your place because they already know that the majority of people that don't have the vaccine are in the black and brown community. There might be kind of a quarantining unit when it actually is put into effect. But they're not going to be able to come to America. I don't think it's going to be an actual thing, but we'll see. Thank you to Drip Collins, who says, buy one, get one free vaccine cards here. Thank you to Per Kayla, who says, what about vax medical exemptions? Religious exemptions are freedom. If people don't stand up now, it will never change. Wake up. Don't be sheep. Right on. Apple says, favorite bands, 80s, 90s, Kiss, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses. I don't know. I'm not really I wasn't really a bands guy at that point, so I don't really know. That's a good question though. I like what's the name of that group? Soundgarden. I like them. I'm like a grunge 90s, that type of, early 90s, that was my wave. 80s, I was still pretty young. Although Michael Jackson was, always real popular, but as far as 80s rock, that ain't really my wave. Thank you to Labrador Bulls, who says New York City is done. The tension in the air is palpable. There's paid agitators telling people to keep protesting and filling the streets. Why? They don't say. Thank you to Chavo for a donation, the emoji donation. Thank you to Apple, who says Missouri unloaded gun couple pardoned by governor. Oh, is that right? Did they get pardoned? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's search. Okay, perfect. I didn't even see that one. Fantastic. Good news. So remember the live, laugh, love memes? Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. So I'll put it on the screen right here. Missouri governor pardons gun waving St. Louis lawyer couple. Gun waving. The AP used to be so neutral, but now they're totally SJW. Why say gun waving? Why not just say, self-defense case? Whatever. But yeah, shout out to them. And if you guys are just listening and not watching the video, remember the whole thing in St. Louis where the couple, the McCloskeys, and they were just, on their patio, whatever, having dinner, just chilling. Here comes a horde of BLM folks through their gate. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I got to get the pistols. I got to get my rifle and the pistol. It was this whole big thing, like they're going to go to jail. It's like, really? Really? For real? Come on. This is why people say, they say things like, if you're black, you get harsher sentences. It's like, no, you don't. You go to a lot of these cities and you got these attorney generals, prosecutors that do nothing. You could kill somebody, get a slap on the wrist. You kill somebody and get out the next day. No bail or nothing. It's just whatever. That's why a lot of these areas are so bad and they're getting worse. Because there's no punishment. You have law enforcement, but there's no punishment after someone gets caught doing a particular thing. You get caught with the pistol, red-handed, and you don't go to jail really for a long period of time, and you out in a short amount of time doing the same thing over again. Thank you to CA for the donation. Thank you to Boat vs. Windshield, who says, big thumbs up to Tamara Mensah Stock. The USA Olympic wrestler who won gold is humble and shouted, I love everything about America. Hey, I love that. Through the little heart up, I love that a lot. It warmed my spirit. It lifted me up for sure. Shout out to Ian Kinney, who says Milwaukee has an HIV epidemic among the LGBTQ community, ranked worst in the nation. It's always been like that. Like I said in my video about DaBaby, do you guys know that gay black men have a 50% chance of catching HIV? 50. 50. 1 out of 2. Half. 50% chance of catching. Coin flip. It's like that. And I think it's like 25% for non-white Hispanics. So, it's a problem. Now, if you're just a regular person and you're not LGBT or IV drug user, you're down to less than 1%. That's not bigotry. That's just facts. It's unfortunate facts, but it's facts. Like I said in my video, when I was in LA doing the Jubilee filming, I was watching local news out there in the hotel, and a commercial for this drug called PrEP came on TV. And I guess that's the thing they take to prevent HIV. And the guy in the commercial was gay, obviously, makeup on, hair and everything. You could tell that he was with a male. It's a problem, and it's not a secret. The CDC put the data out about the 1 out of every 2 gay black men. They put it out. It's articles everywhere. You can search it right now. If you search CDC gay black men HIV, it'll come right up. So yeah, that's been the problem. And when you promote a lot of the debaucherous types of lifestyles, not protecting yourself, that's going to increase. And then you put the drugs in the mix, not, turning your head for the drugs, because that all kind of goes together as well. IV drug use, men together, having relations. You got a lot of problems with that. Shout out to Travis, who says Disney's Muppet Babies producer hopes cross-dressing princess Gonzo inspires kids. Inspired them to do what? Things not normal for children, exactly. Thank you to Frankie Z for the donation. Thank you to Ian Kinney, who says BlackRock and Blackstone are big players in the Great Reset, 100%. Thank you to Elizabeth C for your donation, who says, not sure, but in Florida, since a lease is a legal document, when you sell, the new buyer has to honor that lease. Well, I don't know how that really works. That's a good point. But from what I read in the documentation as far as the eviction moratorium, if you sell the property, you got to give a notice that you sold, like 2 months notice, and you can sell, and then there must be an eviction. That's what I read from the moratorium paperwork. I don't really know how the individual laws work in each state, but from the federales, that's how it would go. I mean, if somebody's not paying their rent, you can evict them that way too. If somebody's not paying their rent, then they don't have a leg to stand on legally anyway. If the property is sold and they got to move out with a notice. Thank you to CA, who says white cop put on leave for preventing black teen from trying to kill herself while jumping in traffic. Crazy. Doug V. Woman Marine says, who in your family do you get sense of humor from? You crack me up. Well, I would say probably everybody, really. Mom, dad, uncles, aunts, everybody. Yeah, everybody, they always joke and laugh. That's just something that we do. Thank you to PC Gaming Guru for the donation. Thank you to Ian Kinney, who says, funny how Cori Bush claimed all those people came there on their own without being asked, then follows up by saying they answered the call to action in social media. Which one is it? Exactly. If they came there on their own, they just happened to show up randomly, that's one thing. But if a casting call was put out there, that's something different, ain't it? Thank you to Chevy, who says, I only pretend to be a doctor. My white coat has arm restraints. That's a good one. Alrighty. And I got a few more here. Thank you to Terranius, who says, tomorrow Mrs. Stock, young lady worked hard, became a champion. She made me about cry. Yes. Thank you to CA, who says, BLM buying luxury mansions. Thank you to Georgia Peach, who says, I got COVID, but thought it was very odd. I went to the doctor. He bragged he had just gotten vaccinated. Anyway, he shook my hand and took his mask off. 3 days later, I got extremely sick. I think it was a vaccination. His vaccination. It could have been, because they said that if you have the shot, you can catch it and spread it. Maybe it was. Thank you to Joey for the donation. Thank you to Hollaboy for Life 2002, who says, what do you think about the China and Iran partnership? My butt's been wiped. Joe Potato Biden. Well, China and Iran been doing that for a long time. China, Iran, and Russia, quite frankly, because of the energy and all that kind of stuff over there. That ain't nothing new. So that might be the way going forward. They're trying to kind of like create a system that they can do together that excludes the U.S. as much as possible. They can't really exclude all the way. They can't just say, forget the U.S., but they're trying to be less reliant on us. So that's what that's about. Thank you to Joey Muggs, who says, would you rather see Will Smith with the Men in Black pen or Joe Biden at your door with the Moderna needle? Hey, give me the pen. Just, don't go too far back. I want to keep memories of my childhood and everything, so don't go too far back. But that needle, nah, I'm good. Keep that far away from me, period. All right. And thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Also, share the video and all that good stuff. This will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box below. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's go ahead and get it rocking and rolling. Make sure everything's good to go. And we're here. Now, is Cuomo going to be removed from office or no? How's that going to work? 954, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, how's it going? My name is John.
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. I just wanted to start off by saying, thank you for everything you do. I'm happy that you bring awareness to what's going on politically in this country. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to speak up. Not only that, I feel like people let the media influence them too much. And to start off, I wanted to ask, did you hear about the whistleblowers at the border facility in El Paso, Texas? They were told to withhold information from the media and their family about the living conditions in those facilities.
I've not heard about that. So what's going on?
Well, to my knowledge, 2 career civil servants were told not to share practically everything going on. They asked senior public health service manager, he was asked and refused to answer about anything because he didn't want politics to come into play. In my opinion, if you really care about these people, you're not going to allow politics to come into a place like something like that. But you know how the left is. Right.
I mean, it should be about the people, the politics and all of that. I mean, that shouldn't be a concern. All of that gets put to the side. It's not a political issue, really. I mean, it is as far as why they're coming, but as far as their condition, that's not political. Either they're doing well or they're not doing well.
Of course. And I didn't see it on no conservative media outlet. I actually saw it on MSNBC, so it has to be real. They're talking about it.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
And another thing, before I lose that, I wanted to ask you, did you hear about the article from the New York Times talking about you shouldn't have to be a U.S. citizen to vote in our election?
I heard about it, but I had not seen it yet, but I did hear about that.
Well, I read it, and, a piece of it was saying that the Democrats should take advantage of all their possible constituents. And the reason why I bring that up, it kind of makes sense when you see what's going on at the border. And it's kind of sad because the Democrats are openly playing their hand. They're showing you this is why we have open borders. You're a U.S. citizen. You need to get vaccinated as we see what's going on in New York right now. You have to wear a mask. You need to sit down and be quiet. But you could come to this country and do whatever you want. It's other countries first, U.S. citizens last, from what I see.
Yeah, that's clearly what's happening because there's all kind of rules that we must follow as American citizens. But when it comes to illegal aliens, it's like they could do whatever they want. They want to talk about vaccine passports and all kind of things, mandatory vaccines. But if coming across illegally, then there's nothing. I even heard today that they're trying to have, if you are a visiting foreigner, you must be vaccinated. To get on a plane and come over here, vaccinated. But coming illegally, do whatever you want to do.
It makes me scared to travel. Like, I won't be able to get back in the country if I was to leave,
Right, yeah.
And one last thing before I let you go. I wanted to ask you, did you hear about Jill Biden speaking at JSU? She pretty much admitted to gain of function research.
No, I didn't see that.
And by the way, all these things I'm talking about, they're on my, guys, if you guys are watching, I have a YouTube page called Vibe Control TV. It'd really appreciate me if you guys could help a young conservative start getting his page moving. We're posting up political clips, and we're going to start doing takes on what's going on in, society right now. And that's one of the clips we posted up. So pretty much, she says that scientists have been studying these type of viruses and vaccines for decades. And then she says, so when this pandemic started, they already had a pandemic ready to go. Now, when she says they've been studying these type of viruses and vaccines for decades, you're pretty much admitting that they know what this type of virus is, and they have been performing gain-of-function research, in my opinion. I just want to see what you thought about that.
Well, I think that was pretty clear what was going on. I mean, like, everybody knew that it came from the lab, gain-of-function research. I mean, all the information that came out about that, it all fit. It all made sense. So when the media and the political types are trying to say, no, it didn't happen, no, that's not true, I know they're lying. Because what they're saying to retort this doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I knew that from the beginning. And all I'm seeing right now is just more confirmation from what I already knew.
Yep. And yeah, man, it's crazy what's going on. I think if you're an American right now, you need to recognize this Marxism movement. And it's going to start off as socialism and turn into communism. So I just want to thank you for everything you're doing, man. I tune in every time you go live, and we really appreciate you down here in Florida, brother. Thank you so much for everything you do.
I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Of course.
All right, yeah, shout out to the caller. But yeah, gain-of-function research, I mean, we've known about it. We know it came from the lab in Wuhan. We knew all that. It's just a matter of confirming it. And we have confirmation at this point. All right, let me get to the next call here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. I was a little bit too slow to the trigger. Hold on, let's get to this next one here. Let's go. 331, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 331, hello.
Hi, yes, this is Leslie.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, this is the second time I get to connect with you.
Well, I'm glad you got through. What's going on? What's happening?
Yes. No, so I'm from the state of Illinois. I actually just got notice because I'm still in college. I actually have my bachelor's in business. I decided to go back for completely different career fields. And I actually just got the email that they are stating that by the 1st of January 2022, they are mandating vaccinations for everyone, basically staff and students that are choosing to participate in the school to be vaccinated.
See, you know what? If I was in that situation, I would drop out of that school and go somewhere else, figure something else out, because that's not lining with my core values, and I'm paying money to go there. I have the freedom to go do something else. Why just stay there? I can go to a different school.
No, of course. That's exactly what I thought. And you know what? It's like this platform where they have students. You can actually comment on the articles. So it's kind of like a little, I guess, Twitter, but, for the school version of it. And it's really interesting that I had posted this long thing on how, when is it that we're going to start honestly questioning the integrity, one, of the CDC, and then two, because obviously the CDC and I call him Clown Fauci. I don't refer him to anything else. They're both sleeping in bed together. So when are we going to start really honestly having an honest conversation of the integrity of the CDC? Because first, the CDC started at first when all this started last year, masks were never in question. And then all of a sudden, masks became mandated. And now the vaccine rolls out. And that was the whole thing of the government not pushing it. Well, if you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks. So people jumped on this train, got vaccinated, and now you have the CDC saying, because there's a new variant, the Delta variant, even vaccinated people can now pass on this COVID, this new variant. And that's exactly what I kept on bringing up. Well, when are we going to have this honest conversation of, the hypocrisy? Because how are you going to sit here and say one thing and then say another and then go back to, to another thing? And then that too, when are we going to have this honest conversation of, why is it we're only 100% or everyone here, especially in the Democratic state, because Illinois is a Democratic state, how is it that that this state is only going to pretty much only listen to what these two outlets are? Well, where are all these other health professionals that are saying otherwise? Where are the different numbers and the different statistics that's not coming from the CDC? And then that too, when you brought up a good point, that too, I did mention that, when are we also going to have an honest conversation that is against our constitutional rights and our freedom of choice? Like, I'm an individual, I am an adult, I can make that decision for myself whether I want to be vaccinated or not. And you know what, ABL? Nobody wants to hear it. My comment got flagged, it got taken down. It is incredible, how you end up getting censored so much when you have a different opinion to the narrative that they're trying to drive, especially here in the state of Illinois. But mind you, ABL, and for all your hearers, all your followers, and everyone that's here watching you today, then how is it if the state of Illinois, because this is where I live, the state of Illinois wants to stay here and say, oh my God, we have to shut down again and mandate masks and mandate, vaccinations. But then yet again, the city of Chicago okays Lollapalooza. No masks, no social distancing.
Thousands of people.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, how can you sit here and say, well, everybody you have to fear, but then you're allowing this big concert gathering that you're going to have thousands of people not social distancing or following whatever crap that they have out there for you, supposedly that you have to follow. Like, that's just pure hypocrisy at its finest. It's insane.
That's right.
So I mean, it's I guess all I could advise, and this is actually what my plan was in the past was, I want to finish school here, get a little bit of experience, and then end up pretty much relocating. But you know what? I think it's going to start coming down to that because I do have kids. And then that's the thing too, like at least with my kids, I got my kids medically excused to not wear a mask because their school is still mandating a mask this year, this fall again. So, I mean, I'm okay in that, in that area. But the thing is that if it's already happening where the schools out here are mandating vaccinations, well, what's it going to be next? Like, where are we going to be heading as the state of Illinois? Everyone has to be vax mandated the same way New York is. Like, no. I think honestly, whoever lives in Democratic states, if you have the financial means, I know I do. I'm very blessed, thank God. It's time to go. I think that's the next thing that we really do have to start speaking out as conservatives. Like, if you can, and there's a will and there's a way, just get the heck out. Because let's be honest, these Democratic states are going to do nothing for the people and everything for themselves politically wise. This is all just political. It's just, and you know what, ABL, I think it has us all wondering, why is the government really pushing vaccinations? Why is the government pushing so much fear? And not just that, ABL, why is the government pushing another shutdown? Is it because the next round of elections are coming up? Do you get me? Like, it's such a sick and sad leftist agenda in regards to what's going on right now.
Right on point. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, ABL. Take care. God bless you. Have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder, right? What's going on with this most recent lockdown? Is there a particular reason why it's happening? It makes you wonder. Things make you go, All right, let's get to the next one here. 412, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
Paula.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I wanted to make a comment about the the pandemic. Why aren't we talking about treatments for it? Why aren't we talking about the things we're not allowed to mention? Why can't people who medically can't receive the shot take those medications? Why aren't we treating people that when they present with symptoms, yeah, you might have it, go home. If you get worse, then come in. And by the time people come in, they're already too sick and need the ventilator, and it's gone. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we discussing about not only is COVID coming across the border, I read somewhere there's monkeypox coming over.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit of everything coming across the border. But see, I think what's happening here is that they, meaning the government, they only want what they approve to be out there. So if any doctor comes in that's not involved with the government and they come up with something that works, then it's like you're kind of showing the government up. So really, I think there's a little bit of pride and envy going on from the federal government to not have regular people just show them up. Because then at that point, my opinion now, at that point, it's like, well, we can see that we don't need the government, do we? We don't need to rely on them. And I think this whole thing has been to make us be dependent on them, and we're not. So that's going to be a problem for them.
Correct. And like these people not paying their rent, I don't understand it. I mean, if that was me, and I understand people losing their job because, they had to close their business and stuff like that. I understand that. But I would have made an arrangement with my landlord, say, listen, I can't afford to pay my whole rent, but, I'm going to give you something. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the common, decent thing to do.
Now, that is decent to do. It is something that you should be doing. But people, there's a lot of scammers out there. People would just, they're being incentivized to do wrong. And they feel like it's not really a big deal because remember, over the past year or some change, there's been this whole thing about being anti-authority, anti-this, anti-that. They get a lot of resentment toward people that have money. So the landlord, they want to be resentful towards them. So that's just kind of what it is. They feel like they can just live high on the hog, have fun, spend all this money, and they don't really care about who they're hurting in the process. It's all about them. It's a lot of people that are just becoming more self-involved, self-absorbed.
And what we need to hear more of, our legal immigrants that have come from these countries, that came here the legal way, and realize what is going on right now is the same crap that was going on in the countries that they fled to leave, to come here, to be free, to have that opportunity, to make a decent living, to worship the way they want to worship, speak the way they want to speak, and do what they want to do. They need to be out here speaking up because there are generations of kids that are totally clueless. Absolutely. I came from the generation, I saw the Iron Curtain fall. I am of the I'm 54 years old, but I saw all that. I know all that stuff. And, watching my grandchildren now coming through this education, they can't read Roman numerals. They cannot read cursive handwriting. How are these children? It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's
blows
crazy.
My mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love watch you all the time. Great show. And I will let you go so you can get to somebody else.
All right. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, people, that's why people talking about, the minimum wage and all these government programs. That's why I say you got to eliminate the welfare state, because I know how the welfare state gets abused. It gets manipulated. They do whatever they want with the welfare state. People that live on it, they know how to work the system. And they live like that forever. And it creates all kind of other problems. This is why I say you got to eliminate the welfare state, because if you don't, you'll have a bunch of more problems that you didn't really anticipate. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's up, man? Just a quick thing about DaBaby, man. It's funny. Our quote-unquote allies who always rely on us every 4 years because they need us to put them in power are the same ones canceling us, are the same ones trying to educate us, are the same ones trying to paint us into homophobes and things like that. So when I look at what happened to DaBaby, man, I don't even know if I can feel sorry for him, man. And, because the thing is, it's like, black folks get mad, but I'm like, but y'all support this every 4 years. This is who y'all support, and this is how your allies treat you. And the other insidious thing about this is the selective outrage part of it, which makes this whole thing fake. So you mean to tell me it's okay for black men to call their women out of their names, forgot about selling drugs to their community, you know what I'm saying, to rap right murdering each other? But they say he says one thing that's not really an insult, didn't say anything directly to the LGBT community, and that's the hill you want to die on? Like, it's just amazing to me. This is all fake outrage. But you know what? DaBaby does not have a strong community to really have his back, because all of these clown rappers, all of our entertainers, most of our news media, black news personnel, they all work for white liberals. And if they speak up, they all getting fired. But yet these people want to keep talking about white supremacy in the form of the only white supremacists are these dag-on Republicans. But it's their allies. It's these white liberals that Malcolm X warned these clowns about. They are the ones controlling you. They are the ones that they foot on your neck. But you keep looking the other way. Wow, walking wolf. This is really awesome. Excuse me. This is really awesome field and house slave stuff. Seriously, like it is just amazing what is going on with the black community. And it's just like no one is putting two and two together. They're not seeing anything political about it. They are getting mad at the situation. But when it comes time to vote, they vote for the very same people doing them like this. And at this point, when it comes to DaBaby, I think the only thing that's going to really help him out, because apologies mean nothing. They're going to still cancel you and take away gigs. Is he got to come out with a song with Lil Nas X at this point?
Yep.
So I don't see no. He's done, and it's just I'm looking at T.I. T.I. got that weak response. Well, we gotta at least give people a chance to grow and learn, which I understand. But T.I., like, rappers can't even respond really well because, dude, you rap about nonsense, man. You rap about a lot of things that is hurtful to the black community. So then they can easily come up and just talk about how you rap about the black community. It's just like this stuff is pointing a mirror at so many flaws in our community that is just not addressed. And then when things like this happen, it's like we got no defense, we got no answer. You just got to apologize and look stupid in front of the entire world. So yeah, man, that's what I just wanted to say about DaBaby. And also, I just want to bring up Joe Biden real quick. I read an article where this clown, he's going to sit there and say that Governor Cuomo should step down amid the sexual assault allegations. I'm like, bro. So if we're going to go by that logic, when are you stepping down? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, bro, we live in a society where the liberal media specifically thinks the entire American public is just stupid. Because if how can Joe Biden get away with saying that? And we're acting like Tara Reid doesn't exist. And then here's what I get mad at the Republicans. Every single time a Democrat or a liberal brings up a sexual assault allegation, y'all need to stay on them and bring up Tara Reid and Joe Biden. You cannot allow this double standard, because I'm telling you, if Trump said anything during his presidency, if anyone had a sexual assault allegation and he said you need to step down, they will be hammering him hard about his quote unquote allegations. So I'm just like, the Republican Party has got to play dirty, man. Because I'm telling you, man, I feel like we are losing this culture war because we have nobody fighting for us. And the reason why they really hated Trump, because Trump, to me, is the first Republican that ever fought for anything. He's the first Republican that ever came to the White House with an agenda and tried to push the agenda. They are used to these Republicans apologizing or just saying these frivolous lines like how Mitt Romney and these rhinos say America first and America great. All that nonsense, but fighting for nothing. And the Republican Party, really, they are the only defense against this. Because it's like we can't look at these Democrats. We can't. They're all hypocrites. Even Bill Maher. Bill Maher can talk about cancel culture as bad as all he wants. But this clown was a fervent anti-Trump supporter. He was ridiculous. He was borderline insane. And he's shepherding everyone to vote for Biden. So really, it's the Republicans. And then we have to stay on these Republicans to fight back. And if they don't, like I said, we vote them out. We don't care how much money is thrown at these rhinos. We don't care how many ads is thrown to support these rhinos. We are going to vote these clowns out to send a message. And that's all I want to say, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
I take care.
That's a very good point. Got to bring up Tara Reid because, yeah, you want to talk about all these allegations and he needs to quit, he needs to resign. Well, how about you, sir? Let's talk about that. And we got plenty of videos of you doing things you shouldn't be doing. There was a recent video, I believe, where he was like grabbing a little boy's hand, like trying to hold his hand. The boy probably was about 10 or 11, something like that. It's like, why are you trying to hold his hand? That's not your son or anybody. Like, what are you doing? It was weird. All right, call my speaker to 727.
Hey, I actually made it on the show. I'm very surprised. I'm a big fan. Just wanted to say that. And I just had something little that I wanted to say that I've been saying to a lot of my Democratic friends, and they really haven't had a hill to stand on after I've said something like this. But I'm Puerto Rican, and obviously this 2021 is just ran by stereotypes. So say a Puerto Rican guy robs a guy, and the stereotypical thing would be, oh, this one Puerto Rican guy robbed this guy. All Puerto Ricans must be robbers. That's kind of how the left works. And I would respond with that with one cop shot somebody and So all cops are bad? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no logic when they say Black Lives Matter, no racism, all this, but they're using the same racist logic against cops. And it just doesn't make any sense to me that no one could open their eyes on that side and notice that, you know, they just make no sense with the hill that they're standing on with that.
Yeah, of course not. But see, I think that they want to try to control the narrative to where obvious things that don't make any sense, obvious contradictions aren't actually that when people see it. You know, it's a weird thing. You know, even when you confront them with it directly, they try to sidestep it. It's just about a lot of misinformation, a lot of smoke and mirrors. It just really, I say, professional liars. A lot of them are lawyers, got legal background. It's pretty weird how they operate, but I think that's what the previous caller Tariq was saying. We got to fight dirty with them because they fight dirty. They'll lie to you in a minute with a straight face, like it was the truth. And then if you want to challenge them, they want to call you a racist. But we have to fight back with this because we know what's going on. We got to press back against it and not let them get away with it.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking my call. I've subscribed to you for a while and I've seen you grow, and I appreciate your hard work on all your sources and every video and everything like that. And have a good night, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, shout out to the caller. Yeah, it's a you a bold-faced lie right in your face and then be like, well, if you don't believe it, you're racist. That's how they operate. Let's get to the next one here. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Now I'm on for you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Hey, how's it going?
All right.
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
No problem.
Hey, so just echoing the last two callers. I'm just sick and tired of weak-kneed Republican leaders who cower at any attack from the left, especially when they get caught a racist because they're demanding election integrity, and also things like open borders. If a Republican stands up and says this is not right, that you can't have, I think someone said there's going to be 2 million illegal crossings this year. So there's already been 1.2 million already after 6 months, and then you get caught as xenophobe. Like Trump got caught as xenophobe, and for some reason, if you're xenophobe, you're also a racist. But xenophobia means a fear of other countries, and I just think not all countries are friendly towards us, right? I mean, you have Iran and North Korea and Yemen and God knows what other countries that don't like us. So why do Republicans cower when they get called xenophobe? Because even our allies, not all of them have our best interest in mind. So I'm just sick and tired of weak-kneed Republicans. They have to stand up. They have to fight. They have to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put America first. I don't care if you call me xenophobe. I'm not a racist. I care about America.
That's right. Right on point. I mean, I think people kind of get afraid because, they got jobs, they got kids and families or whatever. But at a certain point, you got to be to stand up against what's happening. Anybody that can, anybody that will do it, because if we don't, then they'll do whatever they want and we won't have any way to fight back against it. So you're right.
Thanks, ABL. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Have a good night. Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And I got this video on Twitter. I want to play for you guys right quick. I've not seen it myself, but let's take a gander at the caption here. The caption says, y'all, look at this ad the state of Arkansas is using to try and convince people to get vaccinated. Now, I could tell right now this might be kind of funny, but I have no idea. It might be a dud, but let's see.
Came to a screeching halt. You have to understand, I'm a hustler. I'm a legit entrepreneur. I sell things. I come in contact with people all the time. I have to stay safe. I didn't have a choice but to trust the vaccine. Because if you live the type of lifestyle that I live, you out here in these streets.
Out here in these streets? Sir, wait a minute. What are you selling? You selling drugs? Like, what's happening? I see a dope boy. Hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the top. I'm seeing like, if I didn't know you and I just was judging, I'm thinking you sell drugs. That's what I'm looking at right now. Maybe I'm wrong. You might be trying to sell, I don't know, pregnancy kits in your back of your car. I don't know what's happening here, sir, but I need to just go back to the beginning.
Came to a screeching halt. You have to understand, I'm a hustler. I'm a legit entrepreneur. I sell things. I come in contact with people all the time. I have to stay safe. I didn't have a choice but to trust the vaccine. Because if you live the type of lifestyle that I live, you out here in these streets and you hustling, an entrepreneur like me, why not do it safely? So I want everybody to take this seriously. Take a shot at staying healthy. Get the vaccine.
You out here in these streets hustling, huh? I know how you could stay safe in them streets. Get you a pistol, get you a long gun, put it on your back. You could be safe out there like that way. That'll probably be better for you if you out there in these streets and you getting money and you hustling. Sir, I need you to stop. Where did this actor come from? Who is this anyway? But you know what? I ain't trying to judge nobody. He could be selling vacuum cleaners. He could be selling, you know what I mean, those little coupon books. I don't know what he got going on, but I'm getting a big dope boy vibe. If you got a pound of weed in your trunk, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It'd be like, okay, I get it. You understand? But no, that was not very convincing, sir. You tried, but I'm not convinced. Let's not do that no more. Hey, sir, if you're hearing me, let's not do that again. Arkansas, let's not. That was not really, that missed the mark completely. The mark, y'all, way over. But I digress. Let's get back to the calls. That was crazy. Hey, y'all have some. You know what? I'll move on. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL?
Yes.
Hello? Hi, ABL. This is Angela. I love your show. I watch it all the time. I wanted to ask you a question. With them trying to enforce the vaccine on us via having our jobs make us take the vaccine or saying, hey, you can't come to this restaurant taking the vaccine, what do you think is next? And the reason I'm asking this is because the Assistant Secretary of Health, Rachel Levine, she's a trans lady, and she was very much into wanting kids to take hormone blockers. And of course, now you have some kids, they're not going to be able to go back to school if they don't take this vaccine. Do you think that could potentially be next? Because people just think that they're doing a service to society trying to take this vaccine. I really don't think people are trying to do anything wrong, but they really think they're doing the right thing. What's next after this vaccine? Are we going to see something where kids could potentially have to take hormone blockers or any other experimental drugs?
Well, that's a good question. I think that they're trying to do this whole thing with the hormone blockers where, like, if a child feels like they're transgender, then they can get the drugs without their parents' permission. That's going to be the next thing, if that's not already done. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. You got kids in high school, they could be going through a phase, they could be having anything going on with them, and then they say, you know what, okay, I identify as I'm X, Y, and Z gender, and then they get drugs for that. That could be the next thing. They could say, oh, it's a matter of public health. The parents shouldn't interfere. We know we're the doctors. We know better. Then it might even be a CPS type situation where they might want to come take your kids as a result of that. So it could go down that direction. I don't know if it will. I hope that it doesn't, but it could, because who would have thought that we'd be forced to get vaccinations? But here we are talking about it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I can't believe we're, being forced to do this either. And everybody's going for it. No one is really putting up a fight. And I'm in Chicago. So, liberal like cesspool. It's not Cali, but it's still pretty liberal. But another question I have for you is this: do you think and this might have been asked before, do you think with them trying to say that voter ID is racist, that they're trying to use that in order to allow illegal aliens to vote? I'm not sure if you've already touched on that.
Oh yeah, they've already said that they're trying to get the illegal aliens to vote. I think somebody said it earlier. It was an article in New York Times where they said, well, why do you need to be a citizen to vote? It should be open to everybody. If you live here, if you just happen to be here, just go ahead and vote. And that's what they want to do, because they want to have illegal aliens vote. That's a big part of the reason why the border is open, because they want to get them in here, as many as possible, and then they'll shut it. So it's kind of like leaving the water on before you take a bath. Leave the water on, fill the tub up, and then shut it off. You got all the water. Now do whatever you want. And they try to make them be citizens and or just have them vote even while not being a citizen. Because all they really want is the votes. They're a citizen or not, they don't really care. They're just trying to get that power. So that's all that is. I won't be surprised if they try to have illegal aliens vote.
Yeah, that's me too. And do you think they'll ever get around to trying to, and it's my last question, I'm going to go ahead on. Do you think they'll ever get around to trying to pack the courts? Because I know that Kamala and Biden said that they were for that. Because if they want, I mean, they've got the House, they've got the Senate, they got the presidency. If they get in, the Supreme Court, it's pretty much a wrap from that. And I know that Venezuela, they pretty much took this route. Do you think it'll ever get that far?
I'm not really sure. I think I was hearing a lot about that when they first got in office, meaning the Biden administration. I was hearing a lot about that, but now that's kind of died off. So I'm not sure if they focused on that, but it could happen if they feel like they can't get certain things done that they want to get done, and they are having a block with the Supreme Court. They may try to go about it that way, but I think you got to have an amendment to the Constitution to do that. I'm not really sure how that works. So to pack the court would be much easier said than done. So they might try to do other things to go about it. Prime example with this whole thing with the eviction moratorium. You're supposed to go to Congress and get that done through legislation, but what they did was go to the CDC and pass something through a health act that's kind of like buried in the law to push it that way. So they're trying to find little loopholes in the law to benefit them rather than going the more difficult process, which is not going to work for them.
Right. Well, I hope that they never go that route. Now, I actually want to try and buy some rental property myself, but glad that fell through. All right, ABL, thank you so much. I love the show, and thanks for talking to me.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, glad that rental property didn't go through, because right now, if you had a rental property, good luck with them tenants. You might have some good tenants. I'm not trying to say every tenant is going to buck on you, like they won't pay the rent, but a lot of tenants are taking advantage of the government, and they're just doing whatever they want to do, living their best life, going on vacation. Now they got the money. They got plenty of money, stimulus money. Do you know how much money people are getting? People are buying the dumbest things. I'm talking about if people could go buy, if they could go buy the Chick-fil-A sign outside of Chick-fil-A, they buy it, while at the same time not paying their rent. I've seen stuff like that, just the dumbest, like on Family Guy when they won the lottery. That's how people are acting right now with their money. And that tells you how accurate these shows are, because they understand human behavior. They understand what happens when you win the lottery. You just end up blowing it. They understand that's why you can't have gambling spots in certain neighborhoods, because they understand how it can be addictive. But that's a different story. I'm going to go down that road right now. Let's get to the next call. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go 206 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 206 hung up. Hey, I didn't do it. Blame the white man. 206, hello?
Yo, I got a question for you.
All right.
Now, you talking about the homeless all the time, and they said that they don't want people being homeless and kicked out of their house because millions of people couldn't work. What are you supposed to do when all these people can't work?
Oh, you got plenty of jobs. Wait, you got plenty of jobs right now, sir. Jobs everywhere. Everybody's hiring, and they got renters assistance. You can get money from the government to pay the landlord on top of getting a job. So they're not just without the ability to pay. People are just choosing not to pay and gaming the system.
But for a whole year, though, they had us locked down for a whole year. I don't. It's like you don't care about these people, is what I'm saying.
Like I said, there's plenty of assistance you can get to help with that, and they got jobs available. So I'm saying you're right. They were locked down for a year, and it wasn't their fault. Okay, now the government saying, here's stimulus check, not one, not two, but three. Here's extra child tax credits. Here's renter's assistance. Here's all these jobs that are paying much more than they did before. So you got all these things available to you, getting thousands of dollars per month. People are just not paying the rent. They're gaming the system because not everybody is doing that. People, a lot of times, taking that money and they're being responsible with it. They're taking the money and putting it toward bills rather than getting tattoos and going on flights and vacations and things of that nature, which is happening a lot with these people that claim they're so downtrodden and they can't get anything going for themselves.
I did see a lot of we now hiring signs too.
That's right.
All right, I get that. Now the thing that don't make no sense to me is I seen a video where they arresting white people for not wearing masks, and everybody's like, yo, the government's bad and the police bad. But how come they wasn't saying all this every time for the last, 100 years when the police is harassing us all the time? But now that they don't wear a mask, they're going to jail. They want to say that the police is bad and the police they're not for authority, authoritarian. I don't know. That's like a hypocrite people.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you this though.
You feel me?
Okay, I'm gonna explain. Now, as far as me being a conservative, one thing we always said is that we don't want oppressive government. We don't want big government. We don't want too much government. We don't want government being all in our lives. And you see these guys with the flags. Don't tread on me. Come and take it. We want our Second Amendment, First Amendment. We want everything to be constitutional. We want everything to be fair. Now, if somebody's getting locked up for, I don't know, selling drugs to the community, killing people, beating on old ladies or something like that, and they get roughed up in the process.
I'm just talking about them harassing.
Wait, let me finish. Now, if people are getting arrested for things like that and then they get roughed up, that ain't really no thing. If there's something that happens and it's wrong, we always say, you know what, take it to court and win. If they're getting arrested and if they're being arrested improperly, go to court and win. But see, the law that says, if there's a law that says you got to put on the face mask to get arrested, we're like, wait a minute, that shouldn't be a law. That's an improper use of government. That's an improper use of law enforcement. We're not trying to say we don't like law enforcement. We're trying to say that the law that's on there or any kind of rule is unjust. And we say that about a lot of things because we don't like big government. We don't like intrusive government. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing we've been saying. Huh?
That's what they've been doing to us though for like 50 years.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a thing that you would get arrested for that you shouldn't be arrested for.
Oh, they harass us all the time. You know how many times? I can't even tell you how many times.
Give me an example.
Mess with me just for being in the mall or just driving while black.
Okay, so give me an example though. Be specific. Like, okay, you got arrested for something that you shouldn't be arrested for. Like, what's the example?
Yeah. Like a month ago, I got pulled over for no reason. He didn't give me he couldn't find nothing wrong, but he was just messing with me because I was in my chicks area, and it's not a black area. So he was just messing with me for no reason. Like we go through that all the time.
So what did he do? So what did he do?
Oh, he had me up for like half an hour trying to run everything and trying to see if I got warrants and whoop-de-whoop. And he ain't had nothing on me. So he got a call or something. I don't know. I was hemmed up for like half an hour.
So when he,
for being in the wrong neighborhood, for being black.
So when he pulled you, what did he say? So when he pulled you, what did he say to you?
He said that I didn't turn on my right signal on a right turn only. I was like, it's a right turn only. You don't have to turn your signal on when it says right turn only. He was just trying to put, we tired of that. We just tired of this, and now white people are getting tired of it too.
Okay, I think that's two different things. Okay, so you got pulled over. So you got pulled over because of a discrepancy with some kind of traffic thing. You say it was one thing. You said it's something else. He didn't beat you up. You didn't get locked up. You just got inconvenienced. Correct?
Yeah,
I mean, am I right or wrong? It's an inconvenience.
About it.
So it's an inconvenience, but we're talking about a thing that shouldn't even be at all because you can debate whether you should have got pulled in that situation. You can debate that, but there shouldn't be a debate over whether wearing the mask is an issue. And for real, that's not even the race thing. I'm seeing black folks having the same problem with the mask that everybody else is having. This is not a racial issue at all. The mask, that shouldn't be a thing you get locked up for. But traffic things, you didn't even get locked up for that. Did you get a ticket for that?
No.
No ticket, no locked up, no nothing. It was just an inconvenience. But you got people that are going to jail or getting tickets and stuff for a mask. It's a different situation, period.
It's just crazy how, like, I've seen Back to Blue on Twitter for like a while. And now it's like, oh yeah, don't trust the government, don't trust the police. I'm like, man, we've been saying that.
No. See, the government, we've always, on the conservative side, said we don't want oppressive government. We don't want big government. We've always said that. That's different than saying Back to Blue, because police officers, these are people in our community, people that we entrust to protect every day. They're not the same as the government, as the federal government leadership. That's different. The politicians are not the equivalent to local police officers. It's not the same thing. See, the police, like a prime example is where I live, my police chief got on TV and said, we're not going to enforce any kind of mask mandates. They're being pressured to enforce the things from leadership. It's not them doing it. It's leaders doing it. It's the government. It's those that are in charge. They're not in charge. They're just the ones that help keep the law and order and keep peace. They're not the ones in charge, though. It's the federales. It's the politicians. It's them. Governor, mayor, president. It's them.
But, like, do you see what I'm saying, though?
No, because you're conflating. You're trying to mix things up. You're talking about Back in the Blue and the idea of being against overbearing government being things that don't mix, but they do mix, because the government is different from police.
I mean, if it's against the law to walk around without a mask and they take you to jail and you resist, they don't beat the white people up, and it's the law.
See, you're missing the whole point. You're missing the point. The point is that it shouldn't be a law. We're against oppressive governments.
But you don't.
But see, check it out.
It is a law.
But see, it shouldn't be a law. That's the whole point. Now, if you get pulled over,
but you can't. You're not
understanding. You're not understanding. You're not listening. You're not listening. You see, we're against oppressive governments and laws that shouldn't be on the books. Okay, just like when they say, "All right, here's an example." If there was a law, sir, listen. We protest laws from going on the books every single day that don't make it. A prime example would be they have this thing where they're trying to have it to where kids can become transgender without their parents' consent lawfully. And if you're against it, you might go to jail. Wrong. You see what I'm saying? So we protest against things that should not be laws. Now, some things, the most of us, we agree should be laws. Some things we say shouldn't be laws. That's where we're talking about the government and leadership. That is who we're talking about, not the police who were just trying to do their job. They're not the target of our frustration. It's the leadership that make all of us follow these rules. That's the problem.
No, I feel you. I just thought it was funny that they all like, no, you can't touch me. Get your hands off me. You can't arrest me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's how it feels. That's how it feels. Like, I seen a white girl get hemmed up at a football game. I'm like, yo, man, if that was me, nah, they would have had like 3-4 of them on us, like, pow. No, they just cuffed you up, and it was like, that's all I'm saying. Hey, man, how come you don't ever play Madden or Fortnite or something?
I don't know about that, but I gotta get to the next call, man. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to him. That was a weird turn. It's like we're talking about police and government. It's like, hey, man, put some Madden. No, shout out to him, though. Yeah. But hopefully that made sense, because I've seen that kind of question a lot. He's not the only one that says that. That's a question people have. But nah, we're against oppressive governments, period. Let's get to the next one here. Let's go 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, ABL, how's it going?
Everything's right. About yourself?
Good. I had to turn the volume down because I had the speaker on. All right.
Alrighty.
So basically, here's how it goes. So basically, my landlord, he had this, not to sound racist, he had this Mexican guy come over. So this Mexican guy, he redoes a room all by himself, redoes the floor, walls, everything, and painted the entire room. He did that in half an hour by himself. And I mean, he redid the floors, like, and I'm not talking about as far as cleaning. He ripped up the carpet and put floor tile down. And he did that all in a half an hour, made the room look brand new. Then he came back and redid the kitchen, redid the bathroom. He redid everything. It only took him, he did it by himself. He did that in an hour and a half. Redid the kitchen, bathroom, put new mirrors up, put blinds up, repainted the bathroom, repainted the kitchen, repainted the hallway, put railings up.
Wow.
All in an hour and a half. And imagine if one guy can just do that by himself, imagine what a whole bunch of them can do. Don't get me wrong. If I was an employer, I would hire the hell out of him.
Well, the thing about it is, you see that a lot in construction anyway. Like out where I live, they got that's all pretty much it is. You might see a handful of white guys, and then all Central Americans, whether it be Mexican, Guatemalan, Honduran, or whatever, Central America. And they get work done. Not only do they get it done quickly, but they also get it done for super cheap. They send the money back home where it doubles, quadruples in value. That's how they operate. So, yeah, I understand. I understand that point of view.
Yeah. And, I've been seeing a lot of conflict lately on the airplanes. Whole bunch of videos of conflict lately on the airplanes. It's just ridiculous. I never thought there'd be that many fights on an airplane within 1 month period, or at an airport. You've seen so many videos.
Yeah, that happens because, like I was saying earlier, people getting their stimulus checks. They don't travel normally. They pretty much stay in their community. But then now they have the money to be able to travel. They want to go to Miami. They want to go to Spring Bling or whatever. Now they got the money to do so. But see, they take the same attitude from their community with them. They used to fighting all the time. They used to being on edge, being really high strung. So they fight over pretty much anything, and then they do it on the plane, not even understanding that you can't fight on this airplane. You might go to the penitentiary for this, but they don't really care because this is how they are anyway. I think once you end all this extra money, they're used to it. Once you end the extra money, once you end all these benefits, then this kind of behavior won't be the norm anymore. You won't see it as much because the people won't be able to travel. They have to be at their community just working, doing whatever they do.
Yeah, pretty much. And I knew they were going to try to pull something like now basically, so the vaccine, now everybody takes the vaccine. We all stop wearing masks, and now it's at the point, oh no, there's another variant coming this fall. We all got to go back to wearing masks again, even people who are vaccinated. I knew they were going to pull something like this a while ago. And then honestly, with the coronavirus, when it first was announced, it came out last March. Too many red flags were popping up because I know when the media hypes up stuff, I can tell when the media is hyping up stuff. I've seen them do that for years. And then too many red flags was popping up. I was like, it's right around election time too. I said, I knew they was going to try. I knew there was something up, but a lot of people didn't see what was up. They were just too scared. They were just going along with the media saying. It's like,
right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to a few more. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Pretty long line tonight.
Yep. What's happening?
Well, a lot's happening. I would like to ask you and your audience a direct question. How many people are from the state of Illinois, for starters?
Well, I don't know. I guess they tell you in the chat if they want to reveal their location. They might want to stay incognito. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, I need to ask because in my state, I found out today that the Illinois governor is going to be mandating everybody to get vaccinated.
Wait a minute. A vaccine mandate or a mask mandate?
Vaccine mandate.
Wow.
If you take a look at T.Y. Smith's video, as well as IllinoisGov.com, it will explain a lot.
Well, I see. I'm on the website right now from ABC7 Chicago. It says Illinois school mask mandate to take effect immediately in K through 12 daycares, and the vaccine mandate is for some state employees.
Okay, because I just found a video a friend sent to me that was implying to all citizens. But here's the real kicker and shocker. If anybody remembers the Obama's birthday the other day at Mount Vernon in Virginia, as well as the mayor of Chicago going to Lollapalooza with absolutely no mask on and no social distancing, but they're allowing people to be there who have been vaccinated. And they haven't made any type of exact limitations of when enough is enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because it's just the typical hypocrisy that comes from the left. Nothing new.
Mm-hmm. And here's the real surprise is that the current appointed Boston mayor has compared vaccine and mask mandates to that of Jim Crow slavery, which, while I agree with her on one hand, I totally disregard her because of the party affiliation, and also many black mayors in Democrat cities have become, how should I put it delicately, hellholes.
Yeah,
and
pretty
you
much.
don't need to look any further than Chicago and San Francisco as an example of that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I really think it's about time that everybody starts looking at their state civil rights codes and start organizing some type of protest on each one of their state capitals, because we cannot deal with another year of this and this fear-mongering, because it's gone out of hand. And I actually agree that it's coming very close to Jim Crow segregation, but with vaccinated and unvaccinated. And if you remember the Nazi Germany, like with the Hook and Frank, this is exactly similar to this.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much here already. It's pretty much here. And they're going to have, room for unvaccinated, vaccinated. That'd be how it is. And we don't want to go down that direction. We want to go forward in the true way, not backward.
Yeah, and that's pretty much why we all need to kind of stand up at some point and put our foot down on this. Even try to go outside to the CDC headquarters, because both them and Fauci are in the same exact bed together with the CCP, if everybody's read the Fauci emails, which indicates that information.
Right on. Right, exactly, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Quick thing before hanging up. I want you to kind of take a look at a story in Minnesota of a black woman who took the Pfizer vaccine but lost all of her limbs.
I've seen that already. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, but no Black Lives Matter fund for her or any outcry.
Right. Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
an extreme case, but it's pretty much similar in all of them.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that story was crazy where the lady lost all her limbs. It was, but it's like, okay, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about, we can't talk about the side effects. Is that forbidden to discuss? It shouldn't be. I don't understand why it is forbidden to discuss that. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get to a few more. All right, let's go. 847 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Josh.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not too much. Been following you for about a year. First time caller. Just want to say I appreciate the work.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, man. Thank you for, supporting. Couldn't do it without y'all.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the vaccine.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, so my family is super liberal, and I'm the only one in my family that doesn't want to get it, and they think I'm crazy. I'm a young guy, I eat well, and I work out. I don't think I need to take the shot.
You don't. I mean, your family may think one way, but, at a certain point, you know what's best for you. So they don't have to live your life. They may think they have your best interest, all this and that, but at the end of the day, you live your life. You know what's the best thing for you to do. So just do that and don't worry about what they say.
Exactly. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah, shout out to the caller. Hey, man, just live your life. Because I done had so many people tell me what to do or try to tell me what to do. Don't do this, don't do that. But I know at a certain point, if you're an adult, you live a life for you. You can hear what people say. You can take it into consideration. But it's ultimately your decision. You are the master of your temple or your vessel. You make the decision. Nobody else does. You do it for you, not for anyone else. Period. That's why I'm against any kind of mandate, because it's like my body, my choice, right? In the real way.
Do this, don't do that.
715, you don't allow my speaker to.
Hi.
Hello?
My name is Kelly.
All right, I got a little bit of background noise in the background. Turn your speakers down for me, please.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I hear you well.
Okay, good. My name is Kelly, and I live in Wisconsin. And I wanted to give another perspective to the people getting government help. I followed you for a while, and I agree with a lot of what you say. But I want to share my personal story. Mm-hmm. I'm 50 years old, and I'm a single parent. I lost my job because of COVID. Had struggled to get my unemployment and had to go on the public PUA. But what I have done is I got my GED through this pandemic. And now I am getting ready to start college to get my office assistant. So when I do go back out to work, I am not struggling to work 2 and 3 dead-end jobs. So I can be home with my child, so I can help raise him and do better. The other aspect I want to give is not everybody is trying to live off the government, but trying to take what is a negative situation and turn it into a positive. Now, though I am on the public unemployment for right now, which ends in September 6th, I have looked forward to the future, and I have foreseen, like I said, I got my GED, through this pandemic at home, online, which was hard at 50 years old. I dropped out of school for personal reasons. But I want you to understand that there is positives to it. People can, not everybody is just trying to scam the government. Not in my case anyway. I know a lot of them do, but I still need this help to help further my future so I can get this education. So in a year from now, when I get my associates, I going out and, like I said, not working two to three jobs, because that's what I was doing. I was relying on my neighbors to watch my child while I was working morning, noon, and night. And so what is a negative can be turned into a positive, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand. But see, the thing is, if you were doing it before, it's like you could continue to do the same thing. So this situation right here is like you're using the system. You are,
well,
but let's
anymore.
wait, listen, because I'm gonna give you a little bit of an out. I'm a kind of just call it how I see it. You are using the system, but your objective is to do better than what you were doing before, so you're able to come out of the situation better. I understand, but you are using it because you could just go back to work and keep doing what you were already doing. I mean, that's because my mom did that. She did that for many years. Like working, I barely would see her sometimes. When I was like 10 or 11 years old, she worked 2 jobs, worked the entire day. And then she got, better in their job, got a better job, and just moved up that way without having the system at all. We never did any kind of government assistance. Now, I'm not trying to attack you for it. I'm just saying this does not have to be part of what's going on to go forward. Now, you are better than those that I was talking about, people that just don't do anything, stay home, and their entire purpose is to be on the system and not do anything else. Now, those people who I'm talking about.
I totally respect what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. Trust me, I really do. I was just one that I saw an opportunity, and it was the best opportunity, and I felt like, okay, because I couldn't work when we were on the lockdown for a year. So instead of sitting here and worrying and scaring and worrying what's going to happen when this all ends, I chose to better it, to use that opportunity to better myself, so that a way I can get back out to work and give to my community, to maybe help uplift somebody, to let them know that at whatever age, whatever your family life was like or whatever your situation is, there is always another alternative. And that was the only point that I was wanting to stress to you, that it's not always in a negative case.
Oh yeah,
There's a way to turn a negative into a positive, and I wanted to share that story because I'm proud of what I've done, and I want you to have. And I respect your mom. I'm so glad that she did what she did, and I wish more people would do that. And race has nothing to do with it. It really doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
And it should be. It should be like this way of thinking in all races. We can choose to make a choice. We could live in the misery of our past, or we could choose to rise above it and make our futures better. Did I word that correctly?
No, I mean it makes perfect sense, because that's the actual purpose of these programs is to help you just get a leg up, not just stay on it. And you're using it for the intended purpose, not for how many others are using it. So I understand.
Right. And so I just wanted to let you know that to give you some faith that not everybody is using these government programs for their negative gain. That I am actually one that is using it for, like you said, for what it is intended for. And then later on, when I am in a better place, I can in turn give back to my community in whatever fashion I can do it in.
Right. Makes sense. It does.
And so I appreciate you, talking to me, and I follow you a lot. I follow you. I follow Brandon Tatum, the twins. I'm kind of stammered because I can't believe I actually got on the line with you. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give another perspective to that as well. So to know that not everybody should feel discouraged, but if they are on any kind of assistance, that there are other choices that they can still make. They don't have to just live there and feel in fear or feel like, okay, I'm scamming the government, however they choose. That there is a positive. They just have to reach out and find it.
Right on.
And that was that's what I wanted to express to you. I'm not ashamed that I'm on PUA. I'm thankful for it. Actually, I'm one of those that this pandemic was probably the best thing that happened to me, because I was working 3 jobs. I wasn't home with my young child at that time. So I have been able to be home with him. I have been able to go to school and show him that mom got her GED. So he's now in middle school. So now he takes school more seriously, and he realizes how hard I had to work to get it. And what life was like prior to that. So I'm one of the lucky ones that something that was negative has turned into a positive. And I just wanted to be able to share that, so that a way people have other aspects of it.
Right
there
on.
are things, there are choices. And we live, like you said, we live in the greatest country in the world.
Gotcha.
If I had lived somewhere else, I don't know that I would have had these choices.
Right on. Thank you for the call, though. I really appreciate you for your call. Thank you.
Okay, you have a good night.
All right, now.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect that. Because, that's the actual purpose. Like, these programs, that's the purpose, because they say, okay, here are these benefits, here are these welfare programs. We're going to get you some assistance. So you're able to use that to build yourself up, and you don't stay on it forever. That's the intended purpose. But the majority of people, from what I see, from being in these neighborhoods all my life. People just live on it, and that's just it becomes a cultural thing. It does much more harm than good. That's just a fact. Now, what should have happened is that we didn't have this whole thing shut down. But if you are shut down and you can't work, then it's like, okay, what am I going to do with myself? Do something. And she did something that's positive. So shout out to her. All righty, man. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
All right, good deal. All right, yeah. Again, I want to just say shout out to the lady that just called in. Don't remember her name, but that was a great call. And what she did right there is exactly what I tell people all the time. What that is there for? Is there to be used so you can actually do something to get yourself on your feet. And believe it or not, although I was on a full ride scholarship in school, they still, because the background that I came from, they still gave us something in college. They called it student stamps. So I totally understand that. And of course, like my background where I came from as a somebody that grew up in the hood in the ghetto, and I'm just my camera, we were all on it. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I know a lot of times people can be what's the word I'm looking for? It can kind of be misperceptionalized that what we talk about here, most people that are on food stamps or need the government help, nobody is condemning them for that. But the thing is that what she just got done saying is exactly what it's there for. And to me, it's one of those things where I tell people in a time like now, it's a good chance to take advantage to get your GED or enter into some type of, skill trade, an apprenticeship, anything, a 2-year college where we can get a 2-year degree, we can come out making, pretty decent money. It's a great time to do that right now. But of course, you're going to find some people that are just going to take advantage of it and just want to do nothing with it, and to me, I think they did a disservice right now with actually re-implementing this thing back into play again by allowing them not to have to pay rent, because I have several people that are actually in the same type of profession that I'm in right now. And some of them actually have properties that they own. And man, it's crazy because that person doesn't have to pay rent. But like one of my coworkers that owns several different properties, they still have to sit there and pay everything they're supposed to pay. Right?
That's right.
So it's like, where is their cut? Where is their, where do they get from the government? And they're telling me, we don't get anything. I'm like, there's not even a grant out there that you can get like for people that are landlords. They're like, no, we don't get anything. All we can do is just keep on asking them if they're going to pay the rent. This person has a lot of properties. So, yeah, people are definitely taking advantage of this right now. And the government knows, because if they can do this thing they did last year, which it seems like they're trying to do again by shutting down a lot of the businesses and small businesses, then guess what's going to happen to the landlords who's not going to be able to keep up with the payments on their properties right now? I mean, it's absolutely crazy. They know that it's going to end up furthering the ones that are already rich and the ones that are possibly middle class, depending on what type of occupation that you have, that they actually going to almost be at the poverty level, man, because they're losing their businesses. They can't keep up with their bills. They can't pay their own mortgages on homes. Now, I might be wrong about this, but I don't know, because I just pay my stuff. My wife takes care of like the bills that we pay when it comes to me owning my home. But I don't know if there is, and maybe the audience that's listening right now, they may know, but I don't know if there's even something out there for people to actually own homes, that whenever something like this is happening, do they get that same break from the bank? Do they get, hey, can I just call my bank right now and say, look, I'm kind of struggling right now. Can y'all give me like about a good 4 months to get on my feet without paying anything? No, don't tack it on the end of my, you know what I'm saying? Don't tack it on the end of my whole loan. Just take those 4 months out. Like the people that's not having to pay rent, they're not going to do anything but just come back. And then what people don't understand either is that from what they're telling me, the landlords who work with me, or better yet, they work for me, they're telling me that even when they do, or even if it ever does get back into a point to where the people are actually having to pay rent, if they do not pay rent, they say the eviction process can be almost anywhere from 3 to 6 months to even get them evicted.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, the ones that don't have to pay rent or anything right now, it's terrible, man. But at the same time, like I said, to me, the end game, they're trying to shut down small business again. And even the people that own properties, like one of my coworkers, it can end up eliminating them out. They can't keep up and pay their bills. So I'm going to leave that part right there. And now I'm going to dive into another segment right here. And that's regarding I heard somebody call in and said, or they called in and said Ty Smith did a video and they're mandating vaccinations. I'm like, no, wait a minute, no, they're not mandating vaccinations in Illinois. No, they mandated masks here. And today it was going to be another meeting we're going to have at the school board meeting, the one that I went viral for. It was going to be another meeting today. And check this out. Excuse me, y'all. Whenever the school board meeting was going to come into play, typically the meetings are at 6 o'clock. So the school board meeting, for one, they didn't even try to tell the community that they were even having this meeting. And what they end up doing, they changed the times from 6 o'clock. They changed it to 5 o'clock. And with that being changed to 5 o'clock, they also said you have to arrive 30 minutes early to sign up if you want to speak. So they already had this in play. They knew people typically work a 9 to 5 or something like that. They knew that people weren't going to have time to come there and do all that. And the last time that I even spoke, at this school board meeting, there was no sign up sheet. They just said, whoever want to speak, you guys got 3 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes tops, and we'll go from there. But they changed it up this time. So, but what happened is with the jellyback governor here in Illinois, he ended up mandating masks. So with that being said, I know a lot of people are upset and mad, but what I have to say to a lot of people right now, what's great about these videos, ABL, bro, is that I love that when we post these videos, unless YouTube take them down, these videos stay up there. So I tell people all the time, you can go back, I don't know, even if you did it on your channel, ABL, on your channel, on my channel, all the people that are listening right now, if you guys go to ABL's channel or if you go to my channel and you go to the magnifying glass that's actually on our channel, not the one that's up there in YouTube, you can go back and search videos when we first started even talking about this stuff way back last year in March. I said it way back last year in March that this is not the first time that I've dealt with coronavirus. No, it wasn't COVID-19 or anything like that, but it was not the first time I dealt with it. I told people that I've done it for years. I go in a room and before I go in there, I read a chart and I'll try to figure out why do they have this person on droplet precautions or airborne precautions or bloodborne precautions or contact isolation. Whatever I see on my chart right there, and I go to that room, it lets me know you need to put on a gown, gloves, mask, goggles, boom, or something like that. We do that because that's the PPE. It's to protect you from that particular ailment, that particular illness, that particular sickness that person has. So I've been doing this, and I told them on my video today, I've been in medicine for over 20 years. I mean, I say medicine. I've been working in the hospital, been in medicine for over 15 years. But to this day, and people it just kills them, ABL, because they're sitting there like, well, you're just lucky. Well, no, you're just lucky. Oh, you just wait. Just wait what? What do you mean just wait? I've been in the hospital for over 20 years in the most germ-filled place that you can go to every day. Now, all of a sudden, before there was a vaccine, before they were even working on the vaccine, when coronavirus was just rampant all through the U.S., me and other nurses, PAs, physicians assistants, therapists, doctors, you name it, in the hospital, we're heroes. We go in there and risk our lives every day. Look at our healthcare workers. They're heroes. Man, they was giving us breaks. If you a healthcare worker and you can show an ID that you work in the healthcare field, they're giving you deals at McDonald's, giving you deals at everywhere you go. There's a deal for the healthcare workers. Now we're hated because we're still saying we're going in there every day. And to the ones that don't want to get the vaccine, like me, all of a sudden now we're hated now. All of a sudden now we are the super spreaders now. But what happened? The vaccinated, guess what? You can spread it too. So for the ones that were doing all that kicking out of, you can harm your grandmother. Well, what about your family? You know, you're doing a disservice to them. It's selfish of you to sit there and not get the vaccination, and you can be infecting your family. But wait a minute. Y'all weren't worried about that before there was a such thing as a vaccination. Y'all weren't worried about me infecting my patients that I go to the hospital to see every day. You weren't worried about them. And now that people that actually are vaccinated, you're just as contagious and you can spread it just as much as any person that's not vaccinated. So what did you win out of this? And if you can't understand something, and I'm gonna just leave it at this after I get done, bro. I tell people it's the equivalent of this, and I did a demonstration in front of some kids today. I just went up to one and say, hey, I want to give you this right here. I pull out some money, right? I said, here you go. They reach for it. I pull it back. Here you go. They reach for it. I pulled it back. I kept on doing it to find they were just like, man, forget it. I don't even want it. So I'm saying that because right now, all this flip-flopping going back and forth. Oh, it's going to work. Oh, it's not. Oh, wear a mask. Oh, you don't have to. Oh, you can do this. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, you can do it. Finally, when are people get to the point to be like, look, forget it. I don't even desire it no more because y'all keep on flip-flopping on us. So if you can't sit there and look at this and just use your plain reasoning, then I tell people all the time, you're doing one of two things. You're choosing to be deceived by this. You're doing this out of fear. But one thing about me, I don't care, and I'm going to keep on saying this. What anybody has to say about me, I don't care what you think of me. The mainstream media is not showing you guys. I traveled to several different facilities from up until Illinois down to the St. Louis area, and most of the medical professionals in these places, when we talk amongst each other, none of us are actually agreeing with this stuff they're pushing out in the mainstream media. Like right now, the hospitals are seeing a whole spike. They're seeing spikes. Wait a minute, time out. What do you mean spikes? Spikes in what though? Oh, hospitalizations. There is a difference between hospitalizations and people being admitted to the hospital. A huge difference. Now, yeah, you might see a spike going on right now. And here's the thing too, it's a variant, ladies and gentlemen. It's a variant. It's not a different strain. It is a variant. And by it being a variant, it does not change the functionality of what this virus is. So if you took the vaccine, it was supposed to help you with the COVID-19. If you got it, it's going to help you pretty much fight off what the COVID-19 functionality does. So if this is a variant, which again, a variant means the functionality does not change. It mutated, it has a different form, but the functionality of what the virus does and what it can do to you does not change. It's not a strain, it's a variant. So what I'm saying all that for is this. Yeah, hospitals are seeing spikes. Where at? How come they're not coming to the? I've not seen any of them, and these are major hospitals down in the St. Louis area. I have not seen any of these news stations coming there and these huge spikes in hospitalization. It's like right now, I promise you, dude, they are like making some of this stuff up. And with that being made up, okay, let's just go along with it. Let's just say,
well,
okay,
I'm gonna interrupt, but you got to tell everybody like how they get in contact and everything. Like, tell everybody who, in case they don't know, tell them who you are. They should know who you are by now, but tell everybody what's going on.
Okay. If anybody don't know this, I'm Ty Smith. I'm the one that went viral on the CRT video that I did at a school board meeting. A lot of people try to find me on the internet because they're looking for Ty Smith on YouTube or Instagram, but I'm not on there as Ty Smith. I'm on there as Modern Renaissance Man. So on Instagram, I'm on there as @Modern Renaissance Man. On YouTube, I'm on there as Modern Renaissance Man. And Twitter, I'm on there as @MRMologist. And on Rumble, I'm on there as Modern Renaissance Man. On Parler, I'm on there as Modern Renaissance Man. And folks, you guys, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen that's listening to this right now, make sure you really pay attention to real healthcare professionals, your doctors and all that. Make sure you look at the data and the research yourself, because I'm getting ready to leave this at that because I know you got another call, ABL. But just because you hear and you seeing that there is a spike, that does not mean that people are dying. That does not mean that. This variant is weaker than the COVID-19 itself. So if you had COVID-19 or you even got the vaccine and you still get the variant, you don't see people spiking dying. They're just because they're coming to the hospital. They're coming there with like symptoms, but it doesn't mean that they are being admitted, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, with that being said, appreciate it, ABL. Appreciate the time on here, man. Look forward to seeing you on the panel tomorrow with Brandon Tatum. And again, folks, my YouTube channel is Modern Renaissance Man. I hope and pray that every last one of you guys that's listening have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health. Appreciate the time, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right, my man, Ty Smith, also known as Modern Renaissance Man. Hey, he's a great speaker. That's why he went viral in the video. All you guys, I know you guys have seen it for the most part, talking about the school board and whatnot. Has a good channel, Modern Renaissance Man. And that's a great segue. I almost forgot to promo myself. I'll be on the stream tomorrow with Brandon Tatum. It'll be Ty Smith, and I forget who else is on it. It's one more person. Pardon me, if you're watching, sir. I didn't forget. You know, this old brain ain't really the way it used to be. Hold on, let me go try to find it right quick while I'm still right here. I got too much going on. but thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to get a couple more in. So y'all just hang tight. 928, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 928, hello. All right, 928, got cold feet. I don't know what happened, but it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Let's go. Okay, let's try 843 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, it's Joey.
All right, man, what's going on?
If you want a good example of rules for thee, but not for me, look no further from Obama's little birthday bash for his 60th birthday party. he has like 7 people at his house, most likely than not, with no social distancing, no mask. They're probably not vaccinated. Meanwhile, in the I would say great state of New York, you have to, at least in New York City, you have to have a mandated vaccine to enjoy basically almost every aspect of everyday life. I mean, that's what makes like the average normally get really frustrated at seeing stuff like this, because it's like, wow, you know, I mean, if they can do all this good stuff, why can't we, you know?
Right, exactly. I mean, when I see stuff like that happen, I'm thinking, okay, you guys are playing games. This is not really a serious situation. You're talking about I got to have a vaccine and the mask to go to the grocery store and buy some chicken wings. Meanwhile, the southern border is wide open. They're not taking any kind of vaccines, no tests, no masks, no distancing, no nothing. And you're having a party. Nobody's wearing the mask. Nobody's distancing. You may have the shot. You may not have the shot. You do whatever you want. It's like they have different classes that they want to put us in. But I refuse to be put into a class.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. I mean, you literally just read my mind about the whole southern border thing. I mean, the fact that the whole southern border is like a disaster shows that, like, it's like the virus is not even a priority, you know? I feel like, in my opinion, I could be wrong with that about this. After all, I'm an average everyday normie. So, what did I say? I feel like the whole, like, vaccine mandate, I feel like I could be wrong about this, you know, it's just my opinion. I feel like it's just like a part to like dehumanize the unvaccinated individuals and like separate, like divide us even more, you know?
Oh, of course. And it's also a way to force us to get it. It's you know, because if you are not a part of society, you can't go do certain things, then it forces you to kind of just assimilate. But maybe I don't want to get it. Maybe I can't get it. Maybe there's a medical reason. It's, you know, but they don't think that way because it's all about assimilate or else. Life's like the Borg.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's all about control, you know? That's all I'm going to say. I mean, heck, I was born in New York. I was from New York. It's very depressing to see it go down the toilet, basically.
Right.
Oh, my God. Well, that's all I wanted to say. I mean, when the whole vaccine mandate, when it goes to, like in New York City, I just can't imagine what it's going to be like for everywhere else. I mean, obviously I don't want it to happen, but oh man.
I hear you, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bro. You take care now.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to one more call here. Let's go 3161. You're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello. Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Hey, great to speak to you, man. I'm calling from the Netherlands. I just want to ask you something. By the way, great call from Modern Renaissance, man. But I want to ask you, if Trump decides not to run for some reason, what do you think about the idea of when Governor Ron DeSantis says he wants to run Florida? And he has said before, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to leave for the governor of Florida. You know what I mean?
So are you asking me if he doesn't want to run, who would run as far as the president?
Yeah, like Ron DeSantis has been saying that he doesn't want to, well, he has not said that he would run for president in 2024.
Okay.
Because he likes to run he likes to be the governor of Florida, right?
Right.
So what do you think about the idea of maybe DeSantis runs for president and then Trump becomes governor of Florida? Do you think that's a good idea in that case?
Hey, you know, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. But the thing about Trump,
I thought so.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. But the thing about Trump, I don't think that Trump will want to do that because he may not want to go backward as far as the position. But I mean, to me, it would make sense because you want to keep Florida. That's a very important state. You don't want to have an Andrew Gillum in there and turn the whole state down. No. You know, you don't want that. So I think it's a good idea, but I'm not really sure he want to do it.
No, because it's a step down from being president.
Right, exactly.
I get it. Yes, I've been thinking about it, and I've been trying to call him for like 2 or 3 weeks with this thought. And I thought, well, let's try it again. And maybe you can ask tomorrow. Maybe ask Brandon Tatum and the other guys what they think about that. If Trump decides not to run, and in this case, then DeSantis goes forward, and he maybe will say, okay, I live in Florida, I'm a Floridian, so then I run for governor.
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes, because I think Trump does want to be involved politically, but it's just a matter of how are you going to be involved, at the top or at a different position. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. It's just his age, man. I like Trump, but his age, he's getting older, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I thought it was good. It's a good option. But great show, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Have a good evening, man. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller from the Netherlands. I appreciate that. And that will be a wrap. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Got to blame the white man. But I thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah. That's a good one. Lucio Velli says if Trump was a downgrade, he would go be the kingmaker in the GOP and replace Money Mitch McConnell. Very, very good point. He'd be in a power position in the federales, in the federal government, rather than being a governor. So yeah, but I think if I know Trump, I don't know Trump personally, obviously, but I just, from what I observe, if I know him from what I observe, I say he wants to be the president, and if he can't do that, then he don't want to do it. You know, that's just what that is. Because with a lot of politicians, not all, but some that get called to it, they don't really want to do it at all. So if they got to do it, it's going to be specific. It's not like I want a career in politics, and it's just like me. If I'm going to be in politics, I'm not really trying to grind for real in politics. I want to be in a certain position to where I can make a difference, not just like a Kamala Harris, but that's a different story. I don't want to go down that road. We got little babies watching. But anyway, thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Also, this will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Links for that will be in the description box. And let's go ahead and get into the remaining super chats. And then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow square on top. Let me go to where they are. Oh, and by the way, I figured out who's going to be the other guest on the show tomorrow with Brandon Tatum. So it'll be Brandon Tatum, myself, Ty Smith, also known as Modern Renaissance Man, and Jericho Green will be on the show tomorrow. And that'll be on Brandon Tatum's channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 West. All right. So let's go to the super chats and make sure I got everything. Okay. Abby says, and thank you for your donation, Abby. Abby says, ABL, just curious, have you seen Desmond is Amazing on the YouTubes? My, child abuse. I have seen that. See, stuff like that is what I'm talking about when they're trying to push certain things with the LGBT. If somebody's gay and they're an adult, that's their business, not mine. But when you want to involve children, now we got a problem. You need to go to the penitentiary, big rocks to little rocks. That's what should happen. Shout out to Stavros Sarantopoulos. Hopefully I did butcher your name. Again, it's not my fault. Blame you know who. Says, read what's written on the box of masks. Will not protect from infectious diseases. 80, 90-year-old people dying from old age in hospitals blaming COVID. Exactly. If you're 95 years old and pass away, it's like, all right, well, what happened? You know, but we'll move on. Thank you to Just Incredible, who says, you hit the nail on the head, ABL. The powers that be want degenerate people just like them. Correct. And when you degenerate, when you have no center, you're more malleable that way, because when you have no center, when you have no foundation, it's easy for someone to build it for you, and then they can shape how they want you to be. It's like playing with clay, action figures. Let me see. Craig Ead says, yo, DaBaby rocks and shit. Spit on the haters like Pot did. Butt versus Windshield says Nuremberg Code 1947, it protects people from being forced to take experimental drugs. New York mayor is now a war criminal. Look it up. Just Incredible says selling vacuum cleaners, they're trying to get thugs to get the facts. Wow, doesn't it have scam written all over it? That's the funniest thing in the world. And you know what? You know, the funniest thing about that is, that's a good point. I didn't even catch that. The guy was not trying to say what he was selling. Remember that ad we just showed with the guy? Yeah, I'm out here in these streets. I'm out here hustling. Gotta be safe. It's like, I think that could be the guys that go to jail a lot, because if you're out there pumping drugs, you're going to go to the penitentiary, or at least jail. You're going to go to jail a lot if you're out there selling drugs. So maybe they're trying to keep the prison population from catching COVID. That's what that is. That's what that sounds like, which is hilarious to have an ad like that. I mean, there might as well have been a cop out there saying the same thing. If that guy was a cop, and I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing wrong with being an officer, obviously. But if he was an officer pretending to be a street guy, that's what it looks like. But I'll move on. That gets to Lewis from Spain, who says chemicals in the water are turning the frogs gay. Alex Jones. Sesame Street and the Muppets are turning the children gay. Reality surpassing Alex Jones. Facts. That gets to M. Martin 261, who says BLM is a propaganda tool of the Chinese provocateur machine that is working in this country. Ping bought the Democratic Party next to change its population. Thank you to Loco Valdez, who says Trump and God and America equals freedom and responsibility, but mercy and charity. Well, there you go. Thank you for that. Thank you to Angel for the donation, the super chat emoji. I appreciate you. Thank you to Grant Lee, who says, ABL, how you like American Marxism by the great one, Mark Levin? I've not read it yet. I think Angel actually sent me that. And thank you again. I've not read it yet. So I got that like the other day. I'm going to sit down and read that. Probably like over the weekend, I'm going to read it. But I just got that book. I've not read it. Thank you to Turk, who says, ABL, I'm usually never in your chat, but sir, I haven't missed an episode in many months. It's chill being live. Shout out to the guest. Go team. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Hey, I can't do it without y'all. And thank you to Rachel Sawyer, who says, did you see the study out of Spain where they found a large amount of graphene in the vax? I love your channel. I did not see that particular study, but I'm not surprised at all that you say that. Not surprised in the least bit, unfortunately. All right, that'll be a wrap for me. So again, thank y'all for joining. Definitely appreciate y'all. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I'll be back again live on Saturday of this week on this channel. And again, I'll be live tomorrow night on Brandon Tatum's channel, Officer Tatum. That'll be 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 on the West. So catch me out there. It'll be Brandon Tatum, Modern Renaissance Man, a.k.a. Ty Smith, Jericho Green, and myself. It's going to be blast. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of truth bombs and a lot of jokes are going to fly as always. But that'll be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.